Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals, and welcome to the Fae Realm. We all back. We here. We're doing this mad cyberpunk thing. Welcome back to this wonderful team, and I am excited to jump in. So I'm not going to blab for very long. Sam, take it away.
I'm going to take it away. I'm going to put two reminders on the table for folks. Reminder number one, you think you are watching this game, but remember that you are actually in this game, and the character that you are playing is the character of the people who are watching this unfold through GlitchAngle's eyes. What I believe is true is that GlitchAngle's eyes are on now, and
Correct.
she is streaming. So that means feel free to put things in the comment. I don't know. I'm not actually watching the chat, but they all are.
I am.
If you put things in the chat, maybe indicate that it is an in-character thing in some clever way. You're all smart people. You'll find a way to do that, I'm sure. And that's up to you to take care of, and I'll be surprised by it because I can't watch a chat and run a game at the same time. Uh, and also remember that your other role is to give us money, and the money that you give us will get turned into advantage for these players. I have made things hard, so they could certainly use the bites, the bits,
The
the
bites.
the bites. They could certainly use the bites, or maybe I'll kill them all. We'll see.
One way or the other. However, Duke Fleega was a step ahead of you. He already sent in 500 bits, so we have one advantage to use at our discretion.
The Duke is in town. All right, that's great.
So, Sam, is that why there were like five other people in this chat earlier who all had like characters rolled up that were is that the backup team?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like if you die, I will actually boot you from no.
No, I will boot you from the call because I have that power.
There we go. That's right.
I wondered why you asked
Um,
for that second overlay during the week.
Mm-hmm.
backup team and the backup team. You guys are just on the
Yeah.
top of a wait list. It keeps going down and down and down.
Yeah, sorry about the
Um,
extra work there, Alondra, but I appreciate you coming through for me.
I mean, we're gonna just get to our cell, right?
Eventually. Dig deep
I
enough, you
will
always find our cell.
I will I will remind the players that those abilities that you have that are like once per day or once per week abilities remain used up. That is once per in-game day, not once per session or out of game week or anything like that. So all of those things are on. What are the kids who play World of Warcraft say? All of them are on the ticking
Cooldown?
clock that
Yeah,
makes them
cool
come back.
down.
Cooldown. They're all on cooldown. No kids play World of
Oh
Warcraft.
my
That's a
god.
20-year-old
I don't play
reference.
World of
Okay, we're gonna move
Warcraft, but
on.
I know that one.
I'm old. Okay, here we go. This is starting. Wednesday, April 11th, 10:06 p.m. Wokeland SiVaRat Station westbound platform. The station is elevated, but the district more so, overgrown like concrete weeds looming over the lines of track, yellowed windows aglow like luminescent flowers glowering down at the commuters below. The track itself tunnels through this urban jungle, reaching left to the districts of Cal and Deep East, and right into the city, Silsent, downtown, Commission, into the Sheer. Looking that direction, you can see the abandoned structure of Treasure Island Arcology, towering over all, dark against the green-black sky, contoured along the impossible lines and angles of a fever dreamer's non-Euclidean nightmare. Why are we here? And what have we already learned about this job? DB, do you want to take it away as like an in-character monologue as you are standing on this platform? What is Lorelai thinking right now?
It would be like Ez to put me in this kind of situation with a group of, oh god, I don't even know how to describe this group of people. We all don't trust each other, which, makes sense. We have a lot of quiet sittings before anyone decides to speak. And what the hell? Why is there an additional car to this train that is only supposed to have six? What is going on with this footprint that GlitchAngle saw in Treasure Island? Not questions that I need answers to because really I only answer to one thing, and that is money. And Ez offered a lot. So let's do this.
Nice. That was so cool that I want to say if anyone else also wants to do an in-character monologue now, in your head, you totally can, and then we will indeed do this. Especially if the monologue covers to some extent what the mission is. Why are we here?
Oops.
It's cool. We will turn to someone else's monologue. The camera swivels into someone's head. I will be inclined to put one person on the spot if no one does it. All right, there it is.
This is somewhat inner monologue and probably a bunch of weird typeface that's just scrolling through Vale's scrap deck as a like stream of consciousness. As Vale just reviews, okay. So, here's the plan. We gotta get on a train, get on a train at one station, and then when it gets to the station, we stop, and then we stop. 1 minute. 1 minute? Was it just 1 minute? Was it longer than a minute? Shorter than a minute? 1 minute. I remember 1 minute. Bunch of text scrolls past as they look for their references. Yeah. We get on in Sill East. And then we get there, and then we stop for a minute, and then we keep going. And that's it? That can't be right. That's never it. There's too many cars on this train. That doesn't make any sense. Did anybody else notice that? Somebody said something about a footprint. And then there's a big flash of red letters that say, take your meds.
Nice. Absolutely. And indeed, as the train howls into the station, its reddish headlights glinting off the sunglasses of the dispassionate station security guards, as you have said, there is an extra car. I'm going to make a diagram here on Roll20. This is symbolic. It is not a one-to-one relationship of this, but imagine that rather than being compressed for space, all of these boxes are cars aligned, unfolded on the tracks, stretched out. I have put a square around one. It is clear that that one is, if not the extra car, then perhaps an extra car, because as the doors to 6 of the cars shutter open, disgorging and consuming humans in equal measure, the doors to the 7th car, that car that is so squared in the diagram, remain shut. That's the scene. You all are on the platform. I got little tokens for you. I'll drag you into the map here. Bing. What's the play? Where are you boarding?
Eve hooks her arm into Vale's arm and walks them both onto the car in front of the extra car.
Nice. You can, I believe, drag around these tokens, but if you can't, let me know and I will give you that power. I will put into the mental image as well. Everyone has dressed up in whatever their version of corporate corporate middle management is supposed to be. I'm gonna guess based on the fact that these aren't moving around that they are not move aroundable. Nope, I lied to you.
Correct.
Now they are move around. Now they will one by one become move aroundable. Inch by inch. Okay. Everyone's dressed up. I do want to kind of go around. I know that a couple of you have special equipment that you may or may not have with you. Abe, did you bring a big ass gun with you to this?
No, middle management corporate types don't strike me as the type to have satchel bag. Well, big travel bags on them. So he's only got the sidearm with him today. Heavy pistol.
Nice. Same question for Eve vis-a-vis like the medical bag, the kit that you sometimes have with you.
Does it look reasonably like it could be a briefcase?
You tell me, does it?
I think it's passable. It's not like the classic, I don't even know what kind of shape, barn shape. It kind of looks like a barn, right? The classic
Sure.
ones do. And I don't think it's quite like that. I think it looks businessy.
Okay.
So yes, I brought it with me.
A fairly thick briefcase. Right on. You have that with you. If anyone were to open that briefcase, they would find it filled with drugs. But hopefully there was no like search to get into this. This is a fairly low security operation, it seems. So that's probably not going to happen. Everything's fine. Eve and Vale, as you board, the windows of the SiVaRat trains are tinted. They are dark. It's hard to see into and out of it until you are inside of it. As you get inside, you see a couple of, let's call them civilians, there for you. They are, yeah, as far as you can see, more of these corporate drones, middle management. One of them has a VR crown on and is sort of slumped back against the wall, eyes unfocused. The other one's half asleep, leaned up against the window. Abe, GlitchAngle, and Lorelei, where are you boarding this thing?
Um, if I recall correctly, I think Abe was like shuffled on with, oh goodness, uh, with someone. I think we had to do a 2-for-1 special on one of the access keys, right?
That was to get into the station. Once you were in the station, there doesn't seem to be any more points of necessity for your dongles, right? So now that you are in the station, you're a little bit more free to move around as you see fit.
Okay. And at the very least, Abe does remember that GlitchAngle had taken some footage of the train, right?
Mm-hmm.
For any points of interest that somebody with Abe's particular set of skills might find useful. So, I mean,
Yeah, what you know about the inside and what you will see again as you get on it is one, the layouts on the interior of the trains don't make a whole lot of sense. They are a chaos of chairs and poles and little handles that you could hang on to. Someone must have run some kind of study at some point and decided that this was the most economical or efficient way to move people around. But if there's a logic to that, you don't see it. That being said, in terms of cover, the chairs are plastic, flimsy, but you could get down behind them. They provide at least a measure of protection.
yeah, so here's the deal. I mean, given that in any confined, what they call CQB situation, close quarter battle, fuck, I hate everything. Um, doors and corners tend to be the most, like, dangerous areas in a scenario like that. So he's going to try and tuck himself into the corner of one of the train cars with as much visibility on any of the ingress points as possible.
Nice. And this is sort of a tactical nightmare because there's the doors that lead out onto the platform. There's the doors on the other side of the train that would lead onto the other platform. There's a door leading up and down to the other cars. Like, there are doors in every direction. But yeah, feel free to drag your token into whatever car you want to move yourself into there.
Okie dokie. Oh, geez. Abe. Okay.
And
Hello.
Is
same question for Lauren Glitchingle. Yeah.
Sorry, GM. The red car is the restricted car, then, I'm guessing?
The red car is, yeah, the one that has not opened at any rate. The doors have remained closed.
Okay, I mean, I want to be as close to that as possible because that don't smell right to Abe.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. There's definitely a room. I know I made these boxes kind of small. There's room for everyone to be in the same car if you want to all be in the same car. This seems mostly empty at this time of night.
Quick question. Is it possible to move between cars while the
Yeah.
car is moving? So
Yeah, what
it's normal. Okay, cool.
it is a normal, yeah, you can see it doesn't appear to be anything other than you pull on the door, you're in a little alley between the two cars, you pull on the next door, you've moved up to the next one. You saw Glitch Angle, you saw plenty of people doing that in the video. Eve, you saw it happen to a certain extent the last time that you were on a SiVaRat. Lauren Glitch.
Give me just a second. Sorry, I'm taking notes.
Glitch and Glitch.
Glitch and glitch. I am the glitchiest of glitches. I will watch to see where the others go and then determine that it is better for us to be close to each other. And I'm also curious about that weird car that is extra. So I will strut onto that train and taking up all of the space that I could possibly need.
Nice. Yeah, as you do, the civilian who's sort of half asleep against the window will glimmer awake a little bit. Just take note of there being someone who is significantly different in stature and standing and vibe than anyone else who would be on this train. They aren't taking any sort of action, but they're watching a little bit more with a little bit more interest now.
I will tip them a very saucy wink and make commentary to the chat. Oh wow, we've caught the interest of the normies.
Do you make your commentary out loud with your mouth, or is it in your brain somewhere?
It's using my, what is that the name? I have a thing. I have a thing. I have the head comm, so I'm effectively using the head comm to say what I want to say into the stream without looking insane and saying it out loud.
Cool. I mean, I think enough people just talk out loud to themselves for any myriad number of reasons in the San Francisco of the future 2074, as well as San Francisco of the present day.
It's very true. But also,
yeah,
like, we have caught the attention of the normies, and so I don't necessarily want to tell the normies that I've noticed that.
Or that you consider them normies. Yes, that is fair and reasonable.
Also that.
You think it out. Right now, your numbers aren't particularly impressive. Nothing's happened here yet. A lot of the usual folks are signing in. The usual folks played by the real chat. Laura, you've seen everyone's gone on to one train. Are you following suit, or are you doing something funny?
No, I'm doing something funny.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
I think Lorelai is gonna take the car behind,
Mm.
so that she can keep an eye on that. And if there's movement that comes, oh my gosh, everything's moving kind of slow. Okay, if there's movement for like coming away from them, at least there's eyes on what's going on there.
Rad.
And she's gonna send a quick text to Ez.
Okay, I was like, you gonna tell me more about that?
No,
It's okay if you
that's
don't.
for you
That's
to
actually
figure
super
out.
cool.
Never.
That's actually super cool. I want to say one other thing here. You have reminded me of a rule that does not exist inside of Cities Without Numbers. But we're gonna try it today and experiment, and if we like it, we'll keep doing it. And that rule is called flashbacks, and it works like this. You're in the middle of something that is a job, not quite a heist, but heist adjacent to be sure. If it turns out that you really needed to have brought your, I don't know, tweezers, chainsaw, whatever it is, you can take a flashback and tell me why you would have thought that, and you can get the thing. There's a cost. The cost is this. It takes system strain to know that you're going to need something in advance of needing it, to have that flash of insight. System strain is a mechanic in this game that says once you've maxed out your system strain, you can't benefit from like healing drugs and things like that. It's a limit on just taking healing potions, which are, stabby stabs in this over and over again. You're going to take a d6 of system strain if you want a flashback. So use them awesomely, use them wisely, and we'll see how we feel about that roll. And Kevin Crawford, the creator of this game, if you're watching, I'm sorry. You're all on a train. Laura, do you want to tell me about this text, or do you want to save it for later? Up to you.
I'll tell you about it.
Cool.
She sends it's all through her eye. She sends a text message to, the equivalent of what a text message would be in this world. To Ez and just goes, "Why is there a seventh car?"
There will be a pause. During that pause, the SiVaRat train will howl to life. After the traditional, the doors are closing. Please stand clear of the doors. Shump. It starts moving. The buildings around you, which were stationary, now blur. There's a pause, Lore, and then you get a response by text on your eye. You should be aware that text messages aren't super secure, so you don't want to send like highly confidential information over them. That's what dead drops and runners are for. The response that you've got from Ez is, "The fuck?"
Oh, great.
And the train's moving. You would know Glitch because you have spent some time researching trains. You would know Eve because you've done this route the other direction. That between here and Treasure Island Station, the abandoned Treasure Island Station, you've got about 6 minutes to figure out a plan.
I
What's the
lean
plan?
into Vale and I whisper in Vale's ear, is there any way we could, you know, shut this down? Like now? Or not now, but you know what I mean, when we need to. Anyway, you could shut it down?
I'm gonna work on it. You're sorry. Stopping the train or stopping the train?
Yes, dear.
Okay. Just making sure I'm hacking the right thing. Yeah. Let me see what I got. And Vale would like to, if Eve is still close enough or like has Vale's arm, Vale's gonna kind of maneuver. Yeah, you know, there's always that one person that just refuses to sit on the train seats, and so they stand in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of maneuver like I am gonna do that, to like lean in the doorway between the car we are in and the car that did not open its doors. Partly because I also want to try to see it, like, you know, if there's any visibility through these doors, like, do I see anything going on in there that I need to be aware of? But I also want to be in the doorway because that is usually where there is some sort of either control panel or emergency call button.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if there is some way that I can, like, basically I wanted to like pry up the panel and try to like plug my little cyber deck into the control panel so that I can start seeing if there's something that I can do to control this train or its doors
Yeah.
or its cameras or any part of it, really.
See what there is to see. So, a couple of things to dig into there. First thing is, yeah, as you make your way to that doorway, you can see that there is a panel. As previously established, you know you can see it up there. There is a camera on this car. There is probably a camera on every car. It's not particularly robust. The cameras, they're actually over two cameras. No, one camera on the door, but it's over the posterior doorway. So as long as you're up against the door that you are up against right now, you're mostly out of its view. That's the good news. The panel, long since there is some mythical past where there is a like pound this button if you need the train to stop. That button does not exist anymore. But there is certainly a panel that you can jack yourself into your cyber deck, jack your cyber deck into the panel, and then you have a direct connection to this train. Your thoughts are its thoughts.
Yeah. I just assume that there's got to be some level of like maintenance panels or something. So that's
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's what I want to plug into. Great.
So as we
yeah.
as we watch Vale doing that, are you trying to look through the tinted windows? It would be easier. You're kind of looking through two layers of tinted windows. The one on your train, and then there's that little alley at your car, and the one on the secret car, the additional car. So from where you're standing right now, it's hard to make out much. You can see light in it. You can see like this sort of vague shadows of shapes moving around, but you don't have the perfect view.
What I would like to do first is you tell me what the boundaries of what I can find now that I'm plugged in are. I want to see if I can see if there's anything like, I don't know if there's any sort of like maintenance logs or like instructional logs, or if I can read like whatever messages have gone to the drivers or whatever. I want to look and see, like, do a quick skim and see if I can find something that says like when the extra car was added onto the train. Like, was
Oh,
that
yeah,
just
yeah,
on
yeah.
this trip? Has that been running all day? I want to know a little bit of that because Vale's not gonna go. And I think Eve, you could probably just sense this because I'm now plugged in. I'm not gonna be the one who goes and investigates what's going on with that car, but I am gonna look for information to give to you. So
For sure.
And I'm
What-
standing right in front
Mhm.
of you, trying to block the view of the camera
Yep.
as much as possible.
Yeah. From the camera's point of view, Vale has sort of shifted into a non-space, and Eve is leaning, kind of sitting in an awkward position. You're between two of the danglies hanging from the ceiling, but you can make it seem like there's a logical reason for you to be leaning there easily enough. Um, Vale, you're in the system. That's the good news. The bad news is this seems to be more than just a single node. This is a whole network system. Let me create a map here for you. Um, I gotta ask you something, which is when you are in a virtual space, Vale, what does your avatar look like? Like, what's the version of you that moves around
that runs
in a
around in the
virtual realm?
metaverse.
Yeah.
Um, I think I gotta lean in. I think it literally is a tiny raccoon wearing like a hoodie with a bunch of like cyberware connected to it. It's like a really shitty version of Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
It does run
Nice.
around on all fours. It like scurries like a normal raccoon. It is not humanoid in any way, but that is what it is. It's wearing a hoodie and it's got pockets full of USBs.
Perfect. You're going to love what's about to happen then. So, a network is a structure of raw, pulsing information, right? Like, it is not a place that we beings could actually maneuver and navigate. Your CyberDeck's VR circuitry translate that into a physical space that your avatar moves through, right? So, in the real world, you are now a series of numbers manipulating other numbers. But in what your CyberDeck is giving you as it's jacked into your brain is essentially a video game. You move through that space. In that space, you can interact with it. It so happens that people who create networks like this can determine what that space looks like, right? Whatever idiom they want to create it in. And it seems that whoever's created the infrastructure for this has a very specific sense of humor. You are in a literal medieval sewer, a virtual, literal medieval sewer. That runs parallel to the geography of the train cars. Every car has its own hub in this sewer, replacing where the doors that you can control now that you're in this virtual space, or you can try to control. The doors are those sort of like stone archways that you would see in those, crypts of Paris medieval sewers. And every room, in place of the cameras, has like a puddle of clear water on the ground in the manner of like a scrying pool or something, that allows view into this room. So now that you're in this space, you can move up and down the line. That's not restricted unless there's barriers. You haven't seen any yet. You can try to control the doors around you. You can try to control the camera. Programs let you do all that. I think as Vale's acclimating to that, I want to switch to a couple other people, and then I'll roll back around to the Vale story. Vale's in. Abe, GlitchAngle, what are you up to? And I should say also this. The person who took a little bit more interest, they're a civilian. They're probably not like corporate security. They're probably not going to phone this in, but like they're definitely aware that there's something going on in that like Eve Vale corner, right? Like they see this strange like flurry of motion. Eve's probably able to block the actual plugin, but like the fact that Eve is standing wholly in front of this other person is of interest. So there's like a degree of suspicion that's rising here.
Okay, that being the case, then GlitchAngle's whole thing is being the one who's seen, and she's absolutely going to start drawing attention to herself, much in the way that like breakdancing people on the trains these days do. So flipping music onto an external speaker and generally drawing attention toward the front of the car as opposed to the back of the car where Vale and Eve are hanging out.
Nice. Wait, I am going to, just for my own brain, sort of shuffle this around so that Vale and Eve are closest to the connector that leads to the secret car, and these civilians are in the middle. And for now, Abe and GlitchAngle are on the other side. We'll see if Abe moves around in a sec. Glitch, I hate to say this, could you give me a charisma and perform check, aka your best skill in the game?
I was gonna say, why? You know how this goes. Charisma and perform. So that is, yes,
2d6 plus numbers.
D6. So that is 7 plus stuff. Perform is +1. Charisma is +2. So that is a 10.
That's 10. So usual difficulty is 8. This would probably honestly be an easy difficulty because you are the most interesting thing here. Like, before you start performing, with a 10, yeah, you've got that person's attention. I think even VR Crown is going to sort of like try to focus his eyes such that he's seeing the virtual space and also seeing you. That's a very hard thing to do. So you're just kind of like an intrusive thought in whatever his fantasy is right here.
And throughout, GlitchAngle is using her her jack to communicate with the chat. I'm not gonna tell them to kiss, Fleeg. I'm sorry. That would be a little bit too intrusive even for me. I'm terribly sorry. But yes, we are absolutely flash mobbing this.
Red. Abe, as you're watching that, first of all, what's going on in your head? And second of all, what are you up to?
This poor man having to deal with GlitchAngle.
Well, one, Abe is starting to appreciate the other party members' special gifts and is definitely gonna kind of just hang back and do as instructed, which was to basically be plan C in case things go to shit. They haven't quite gone to shit yet, so he's gonna hold station. And in between, obviously keeping situational awareness, right? He's gonna stare daggers at that door to the red car that has not budged, and just, try to rack his brain for anything in the before times that might be useful, jog his memory, be a little similar. These fascists, they love making bedfellows with these corpers. So I don't know. Is there anything?
I'm trying to. I mean, you can give me a intelligence no roll as a stalling tactic while I think of if I can think of anything to tell you for this.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and mutually stall here. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh boy,
If the DM doesn't know
intelligence
the
no,
answer,
you
roll
said?
dice about it. Intelligence no, yeah.
Okay. Where we at?
Abe's gonna roll a 12. I'm gonna have to make something up. We'll see how it goes.
Wait a minute, GM. What are the dice here?
2d6.
2d6. Okay, 2d6.
4 fate dice. No, 2d6.
That's bringing it back. Ooh, that's a 6 plus what are my and then no would be Jesus -1 then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, here's the situation, right? Like, this is a very specific. You have lived a long life. You've been on lots of trains, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Lots of transit moving you from place to place. And you've been on trains with secrets where you only knew the secrets afterwards, right? The thing about a train is there's lots of places to hold people or things that other people or things on the very same train don't know about. So, other than busting down that door, which I don't know if that's appealing or not. Probably not. Maybe it is.
No, Abe's gonna see how this whole GlitchAngle distraction thingamajig's going to pan out before taking any decisive action, because he really can only do one thing to contribute, and I don't think that's where we want to go yet.
Yeah. You think thoughts of potential violence, but it's not the time yet. You wait. There are so many things you can do. Abe's got so many skills, audience. Don't think he's just a violence guy. I want to swing around to isolated Lorelei.
Sure. So the civilians in this car with me.
Yeah, you've got one woman who is reading. Okay, she's reading a tablet. That sounds pretty normal now. In 2074, that is archaic. The fact that she has a
Yeah.
physical tablet in her hands, like, why isn't she just like putting a VR crown on and reading it the old-fashioned, the new-fashioned way, the way that everyone does it? It's the equivalent of like seeing someone with an honest-to-God newspaper these days. You see the other person in the car. He is just dead ass asleep, right? Just like sprawled out over 2 chairs, snoring. His suit ruffled.
Does she seem so? The tablet is giving me pause. Is there anything else about her that is suspicious at all?
I got 2 questions. The first question is how intrusively are you inspecting her? And the second question is, let's roll dice about it. That's not a question. How intrusively are you inspecting her?
I don't know. I think Lore sat down probably not real close to her, but like in one of the chairs kind of by the door situation. Because is she the one by the door? Or by where I got on?
Yeah, we'll put her by the door. That makes sense to me.
Okay. Yeah. probably not really wanting to disturb the man who is sleeping kind of situation. So I think Laura just kind of sat down, probably glancing, not really trying to like pull too much attention. If she could see what she's looking at, she would love that, but if that's more of a like actual looking over kind of thing.
I mean, let's call it an easy wisdom notice, right? To be able to sort of glance
Okay.
over the shoulder. I do this all the time when I'm on any mode of transportation to see what people are reading, so it's at least conceivably doable.
Notice, you said? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's like just a straight roll for me. If my computer would work. Oh my gosh. 2d6. 8?
That's a basic success. We're good with that. Yeah, you look over onto her tablet. It is basic smut.
Ah.
Steamy, good stuff. You glance down. It's not bad. I don't know if Laura would recognize the author or not, like if it's that level of thing. But that seems to be what she's doing. It makes it even more curious, maybe, that she's reading it on a tablet where someone could look over her shoulder rather than having it on the anonymity of a VR crown.
She's into it, I get it.
Yeah. That might be the
It's a
world we're
weird
living in
thing,
here.
yeah.
You notice her furtively kind of glance at you as you're looking over her shoulder. A small smirk will come on her face.
Amazing.
Put that away, Ray. I didn't say that intentionally like that.
Okay.
Seems innocent is the moral of the story.
Sure. Can I look? I'm gonna look towards like the doors to the forbidden car. Might as well call it something fun.
You might have just named the episode.
Forbidden car, yes. Am I seeing any movement in the glass?
Yeah, I'm gonna let that same notice roll just carry us forward for now.
Okay.
You've got the 2 panes of glass. Each of them is tinted, so it's difficult to see like faces or anything specific. But with an 8, basic success. There's a bunch of people in that car. They seem to be mostly sitting there. One person, one of the bodies, is pacing up and down the length of the car. Everyone else is, let's say, not sitting, but standing around the car.
Okay. Can I make out how many?
Not with that. If you want to like put your face against the glass or, God forbid, get between the 2 cars, you might be able to get more information, but where we are right now, it's hard to say.
I'm not gonna do that yet. I am gonna do. God, we did not think of a way to communicate with each other if we split up.
I mean, don't you have cyber bits that can do that sort of thingy?
I do, but they're not safe.
Would is this worth someone burning a flashback for a moment
say,
when we all connected to each other?
We've got
It
the
doesn't
tool.
necessarily have to be you, Laura. I'm just asking.
I'll let it be me. I don't have a problem with that at all. Sure. I think as we were planning for this heist, Lore suggested that they have a means of communication, which I think would probably be something that Vale kind of put together as maybe like old cell phones that like can text back and forth that are a little more secure than what's like in my head, and something that Abe is 100% like, I know what that is.
We might go back a level even further, right? So like cell phones, even if they're old cell phones, even if they're burners, right? There's a world where information can get tagged from one place to another. You can get walkie-talkies. Like that's a thing that exists.
Yeah, but then I have to say them out loud is the thing.
That's true. That does have that downside.
Question. Could we have pagers that I have rigged for us to be able to jack
Oh,
into?
that's
So
better.
that we can just it's gonna be like real shitty digital readout, but like could we just have like jacked in pagers that we can use to communicate?
Yeah. That's what
Everything
I'm talking about.
old is new again.
Yes.
This is even worse than my D&D sending stone hack. I just want you
Truly
to know.
is.
Yeah, at some point in the past, Lore suggested to Vale that maybe we should be able to talk to each other, and Vale dug deep into the scrap heap of history, the literal scrap heap of history, and found these old ass pagers.
They're just in the back of the Winnebago with everything else.
Your Winnebago, aka the scrap heap of history. You have such things. Lorelei, roll me a d6 to gain some system strain for having thought of that in advance.
4.
4. So there's a place on your character sheet. Do it on the combat tab of the sheet because reasons of math. Rad. Okay, so you have pagers. Was there something that you wanted? Now I'm asking your brain to do two things at the same time. It'll be in like the upper left part of the combat tab of the character sheet.
Upper left.
Yeah, it's under
Got it. So
beneath hit points.
I'm going to pretend that I was looking at the character sheet and I didn't have that memorized.
Am I subtracting by myself? Is that what I'm learning?
What's happening is if you put in like current, if you put 5 or whatever you rolled 4 there, I guess you could add in the permanent as like basic there. Once the current hits the max, you're in trouble.
Okay. Grand. Perfect. Gotti.
Not in deep trouble.
Dokey.
All right. Now that the pager is established as existing, was there something that you wanted to page?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. That car is full of people, and somebody is pacing.
Back to Vale. You're in a sewer. Doors open to the left and right, and apertures deeper into the sewer open forward and back. What would you like to do?
So I've been rapidly rereading up on hacking rules while I listen to what everyone else is doing.
Good.
Vale knows that our primary directive, in fact, technically our only directive, is to stop this train for at least 1 minute when we hit the, I'm not remembering the future name, but the equivalent Embarcadero.
Treasure Island Station.
Treasure Island Station. Okay. No, because we're getting off in the city. That's right.
Yeah.
Alondra, Vale, the character, knows these things. Alondra, the player's a little behind. Anyway, I think Vale's priority is finding the way to be able to stop the train for this period of time. I think it's risky because of cameras is the question.
I should say, sorry, just to clarify a thing.
Please, yeah.
The cameras that you're seeing here in virtual space aren't looking into the virtual space. Now that you're in here, you're fine. If you move around in here, you can look out through the cameras theoretically, but they can't see you. I didn't know if that's what you were.
No, that's actually that is a helpful clarification because I was not entirely sure.
Okay, yeah.
Vale is aware that there may be cybersecurity measures in here and is on
That may be
alert
the
for
case.
those. Yes. So I think what Vale is trying to do is scurry along this corridor as swiftly and unobtrusively as possible, not touching too much of anything. I think I want to try to get to whatever control hub is the driver's car, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the brain, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to see what is there to figure out what my best options are for if I can stop this by just actually jacking in and stopping it, or if I'm going to have to do something a little bit more creative to cause the operator to have to stop us. So I think that's what I think this is just straight up like raccoon in a hoodie scurrying down the sewer line, trying to like not touch anything as they go.
more secure systems will have barriers between rooms. This is something that you have encountered countless times. Barriers can be tricky because, in many cases, unlocking barriers, just as it takes to do anything, requires access. And you only have a certain amount of access before you've essentially run out of tricks to hack the system. You've got 2 access, so you've got 2 tricks up your sleeve before your abilities become restricted. But nothing's stopping you. You can scurry forward. I'm gonna say 1 car for now, or 1 room in the sewer for now. As you scurry forward, other things are happening elsewhere. Abe, could you give me a notice and wisdom roll because of reasons?
Because of reasons, you
Yeah,
got
you know.
okay. Notice and reason to DCS. Okay, that's a 6 plus what are my dudes? So -1, obviously, I'm guessing, because I don't think I'm very noticeable. And reason.
Sorry, notice and wisdom. I might have made up a thing there. Notice and wisdom.
Oh, I am very wise, though. Okay, so that is gonna be 8.
Okay, it's a basic success. Your situational awareness is going to give you something here. You are staring daggers at the door ahead, but you get a sort of prickling on the back of your neck and take a moment to look at the door behind. There's like a patrolling security guard. He probably came from the car ahead into the car behind you now. If he continues his patrol, this corpsec guy, this goon in a suit, this dark suit, sunglasses, truncheon, walkie-talkie, gun, all of those things holstered at present, will be in the car that you are in, though he's moving at a fairly lackadaisical pace. At the same time as that's happening, the same thing is happening from the back. A dude has made it into your car, Lore. Lore, you're not doing anything suspicious yet. So this security, you're not doing anything suspicious. Period. This security guard, this corpsec guy, rolls in, sort of glances up and down the room, taking a slow pace. Looks like he's going to go to the front of the car, maybe turn around, maybe keep going. Hard to say.
Did
I
he-
want to put it... Yeah.
Did he come from the forbidden car?
No, he came from the back. He rolled in from the
Oh.
back of the train.
Okay, and he looks like he's turning around and going back without going into the forbidden car?
It's not immediately clear yet. Now he's just walking across the room. But assuming, yeah, we'll see what happens when he hits the end. I want to briefly go around and just ask if anyone's doing anything differently as this transpires. If not, I'll go back to Vale.
I mean, Glitch is mostly maintaining what she's up to, which is keeping attention away from Vale and Eve. She's marked that security guard, and from in the streams that she watched of other people going on the trains, how did security respond to things like random dance parties happening in the cars and whatnot? Because I cannot imagine that San Francisco of the future has gotten rid of those entirely.
No, you did see an influencer get thrown off for being a jerkass, but it didn't seem like they didn't shoot him or anything like that.
Sure.
He was just being obtrusive. You are being somewhat obtrusive right now, so there might be a bit of a scene, but theoretically wouldn't be worse than getting thrown off at the station that you're intending to get off at anyway.
I mean, at this point, if that makes it stop at Treasure Island, so much the better. I'm unsure which way this is going, but
I said they probably wouldn't throw you off at an abandoned station.
They might. I don't know. They're mean. But I will continue to maintain my distraction levels to keep things away from Vale and Eve.
Cool. You remain distracting Eve. You're still leaning up against the wall, trying to keep your body mass in front of Vale's body mass.
I mean, unless anybody has told me that there's corporate security coming, I wouldn't know. So
Yeah, Abe, do you have a way to signal that? Sorry to interrupt. Abe, you're technically the only one who knows about that so far.
Yeah, I'd imagine, I was also provided a pager from the trash heap of history, aka Ackroyd, aka Trash Panda's Pleasure Palace. So, I mean, yeah. Even by Abe standards, these things are pretty ancient. But I think he manages to get a message out there that says something to the effect of, digital display permitting, hey Doc, we're about to have company in a couple of minutes.
Abe
Do
has
what
the
you all have to do.
Abe has the only wireless pager because I didn't know if he had a cranial jack or not.
Remember, no jacking before the first date.
Lore, yeah, go
I
go for
don't
it, Eve.
think I don't know if we've established whether or not Eve has any cyberware. I certainly didn't purchase any in the character creation, but is there a level of cyberware that would be standard that I would just automatically have?
The basic sort of cyberware are those skill plug jacks. They do cost money, so you'd have to have done a thing to have them. So
Yeah, I
even
don't
even in this cyberpunk world, not everyone has the gear.
got it. Yeah, Eve came with skills already, so um I don't think I have any cyberware. So I guess I also have a wireless pager. I yeah,
So do
looking
I,
at it.
technically. I don't have a cranial jack either.
Let's say you've got cyberware, but not the cyberware that would help with that particular.
No.
You can't receive text messages on your brass arm.
Vale tried and then went, "Oh, okay, nerds," and had to add antennas to everything.
Yeah, so I think receiving that page, Eve would kind of clock the security coming from one end of the car, and turn around and face Vale. I'm prepped to rip out the jack if I need to.
Nice. Very good. Not for the first time, perhaps. Lore, you're receiving more messages from Ez. They are basically like, report? What the fuck? Extra car? Tell me about this? Right now? I'm doing this neutrally because it's all text messages. It's all lowercase. Like, there's no actual, like, all caps sort of urgency to it, other than the fact that they are rolling in one after the other after the other.
He'll get a message that says you're very distracting. And not in the pretty way.
They, for what it's worth.
I'm so sorry. They'll get a message that says you're very distracting, not in the pretty way. And just go, trying to figure it out. Looks like a bunch of people.
There is two messages that come in after that. The first one is expect, and the second one is I don't fucking know. Expect something.
Thumbs up emoji, like.
As that is going back and forth, the security guard will indeed. You'll see him kind of get to the door, put his hand on it, roll his eyes, turn around, and start going back the other way. Vale, you are good to keep moving forward if that's what you would like to do.
I have not gotten any alerts within my cyberspace that I can't, so I am going to continue moving forward.
All right. A number of things are going to happen at the same time. The first of them is merely that inside of networks like this, you can have automated patrolling programs.
Yes.
Demons, they're called. They can provide any amount of functionality. They can run programs of their own to countermand whatever is being done in the system. They can engage in cyber combat. As you come into this part of the sewer, you see a giant rat. A program simulacrum of a giant rat guarding the path ahead of you. This rat is sized about the same size as your raccoon, so it is animal v animal sort of together in that you can't smell anything. Thankfully, the verisimilitude is not that high, but in this sewery place, in this ancient architecture, a rat blocks your path. As that's happening, also this security guard is making his way into the room. The one behind is patrolling backwards, and the SiVaRat train itself plunges like a roller coaster in molasses in slow motion. The views from the windows, for those of you outside, darkens, and the cold waters of the bay press down overhead as you enter the tunnel underneath the San Francisco Bay. You have about 3 minutes to shut down the train, and just because now timing is going to start mattering, I think I'd like to get us into initiative. Here's how that works. We're in 3 different groups. Vale's going to get their own initiative. Sorry, that was me looking at your pronouns where it says FA/FO pronouns and remembering how I was supposed to interpret that.
However you want, Home Skillet.
Absolutely. Vale is going to roll your own initiative. That's a D8 plus your dexterity. For the rest of the group that's together, Abe, GlitchAngle, Eve, that's going to go on the highest dexterity's initiative. That's Abe. So Abe, roll a D6 plus your initiative. And Laura, you are all alone, so you're also going to roll a D8. Sorry, everyone's rolling a D8 plus your initiative. And I'm going to roll for some bad guys. Very standard 4 for me. Let's make the music do a thing.
Where do I find my initiative?
It is just your dexterity modifier.
Thank you.
It was a 2d6 to roll, Sam?
Sorry, a 1d8.
1d8.
I said D6 at one point because I was lying. Vale against all odds going first here.
Oh,
And then we got
Especially hilarious because I have the lowest dex of the entire party.
Sorry,
Don't,
Abe, what's yours?
don't do drugs, kids!
Abe, what's yours when you put it all together? I might have just lied.
It's a 6.
It's a 6. All right, yeah, indeed. Vale's going first. Then the Abe crew is going. Then whatever's happening on 4 will happen. Then Laura's happening on 2. Vale. There is a rat. There are programs that can attack. I don't know if you packed any of those programs with you today.
I did not. I, as a hacker, do have the ability to once a day just change a subject on the fly. I think my problem is my verbs. In this particular scenario, as far as being able to do things. So I was also not planning to go first. I thought I was gonna have a couple of people to figure out the plan.
Surprise! Yeah, the sort of ones that you would want are like paralyze, silence, stun. Those are all avatar focused programs or verbs. I mean.
Yeah, I have.
You can just walk around it. It does get an opportunity attack in the D&D sense.
Yes. Okay, I do have a verb that would work, but I don't think I would have to apply this to an avatar for this to work, correct? Because
Yeah,
that's
the
what
subject.
the rat is. The subject would have to be
Exactly.
an avatar. Okay. Sorry, this is I was not prepared to go first. I'm debating the burn the ability to switch on the fly for this versus needing to save it to be able to actually stop the train.
I'll say 2 things while you think about it. I'll say 2
Yes.
things for the viewers, which is, in most cases, dying in the dream doesn't mean you die when you wake up. In most cases, what things inside of cyberspace are trying to do is stun you and knock you out of cyberspace. There are advanced programs that can wiggle right up the connection into your cyber deck, into your brain, and start shutting down your functions. That would be a stunning thing to exist on a SiVaRat train. And looking at this avatar, this is a very basic. I say a rat, but you got to picture like a 8 polygon rat. Like this is very low tech. It is not a advanced program by the look of it.
I think Vale is gonna take the gamble, and just try to move past it, risk whatever damage it might do. I think it is more important to save my CPU for stopping the train.
Nice. In that case, you're gonna move. You can move yourself up a slot.
Sick.
As you do that, Dot Rat is going to attempt to stun you. So you are entitled to an intelligence/programming roll to try to resist being stunned, essentially.
Okay.
You are rolling against it, so it's rolling 1d6 plus 1, 2d6 plus 1. You're rolling 2d6 plus whatever.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll my base 2d6 and then add my modifiers separately because I
For sure.
don't trust roll 20 right now. I gotta get my hotkeys fixed. Anyway, and I'm rolling intelligent. It may not matter.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So this is not a highly advanced program. Vale, you're very, very good at your job. You also just rolled a critical miss. What's going wrong? Like, why have you rolled a critical miss and failed to dodge this piece of malevolent programming that's being shot at you?
Vale took I asked chat if I should take a risky verb or a safe one, and they voted for the risky verb. I think Vale is running through, like, as I'm trying to scrape past, I'm running through my preload of my deck to figure out what I can do to stop this train. And I think Vale, like, truly just gets distracted trying to see if I have correctly programmed this somewhat more advanced program that I'm not sure if I can actually execute. It's experimental for Vale. Vale hasn't tried to use this one yet. So I think it's truly just like, get distracted. The ADHD kicks in and I don't do a good enough job of skirting.
In the virtual world of the program, the rat nibbles you. It is clear that the rat was programmed, that this idiom was programmed to nibble at something that it thought was human-sized, and you are raccoon-sized, so it will sort of nibble at the space around you. It's enough to hit the hitbox of your program. It looks real janky if anyone was in here to watch it, but luckily no one's in here to watch it. Hopefully.
There's a
I'm gonna
rat
roll...
that's just making a nibble animatic, and it's like several pixels away from me, but I still do the blood spurt animatic.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly the vibe here. And like, as that's happening, you are gonna take 1d10 non-lethal damage. It can't actually hurt you. I've rolled an 8, so here's what happens. This starts by going out of your cyber deck shielding.
Gross. Okay.
So that just means that's like armor that you have just for your cyber deck. The rest of it goes out of your hit points. If you hit 0 hit points in this, you get shunted out of cyberspace. You have moved. I'm going down the line. It's Abe and Abe's entire crew, right? So like everyone who is in the car with Abe, GlitchAngle, and Eve. You've got the security guard who's come in. Vale, you've taken damage in the cyberspace. What's your body do to respond to that? Like, what are we seeing in the real world as you're jacked into the system?
So I think when Vale jacks in, what it kind of looks like for someone like Eve who is standing real close, what you'd see is like it's that glazed over look. It's we're not quite in a world where there's like magic where like my eyes would fully roll back in my head, but I think it is like glazed, middle distance, not focused on anything, and probably what I think there's just like that little bit of shake, and I hate to do this, but it's in character. Like, it's the addict shake. It's that little like twitch of like somebody who's maybe starting to have a problem, and Eve is close enough that you would see that like there's like a rupture in the pupil, and I start like bleeding into the white of my eye. Not in a way that's going to be damaging, but in a way that's just gross and noticeable if you're that close.
Keeping an eye on eye things for people's various stuff here.
Yep.
But cool. Yes, Vale is looking fucked up in an obvious way, Eve, though not in a way that's actually, like, damaged. The security guard has entered the room. The corpsec is looking around. This is where Glitch, he will probably notice the weird action happening in the back, unless someone takes pains to distract specifically him.
GlitchAngle is almost painfully aware of how her modifications have made her, I believe the description in the book was unearthly beautiful. So she is going to turn her attention to this guy, recognizing that something is going on with Vale, and trying to keep things away from what's going on back there. And attempt to seduce? Question mark? That's not her particular like area, but she knows she's pretty and can get attention that way.
Yeah. It's charisma talk. It's charisma talk. Unless it's charisma perform. Up to you, actually.
I'd love charisma perform because that's better for me.
I mean, you gotta spin it, right? Like if it's charisma perform.
Sure.
You're performing gender. I don't know.
I am performing sexuality, more to the point. And I think that at that point, like, she's been doing this like performance that's been like generally dancey and performing, and now it's, God's help me, more of like a lap dance type of thing. Getting attention that way.
Okay, roll them.
So that is a 7 plus 3, so that's a 10 again.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have his undivided attention is the moral of the story here.
Yeah.
Like, you see his eyes flick across the room to where Eve and Vale are. You see his eyes flick to where Abe is sort of, very stoically sitting. And then all of that immediately sift through his attention like water through a sieve, because there is something much more interesting for him to focus on, and he will focus on it.
Yes, and GlitchAngle will 100% say to our chat, you are absolutely correct, JR. This is it. This is what we call putting lipstick on a pig.
Right on. 10 out of 10.
Chat, I love you so much.
Eve or Abe, the two of you see all this kind of breaking down. It seems that GlitchAngle has it under control. Anything that you want to be doing right now?
Quietly starting a one-sided conversation with Vale, so that it looks like we're talking to each other. So something like, and then I told Jones that he could just go fuck himself, and then continue.
Nice. I like it. Abe?
Oh gosh. First time we've ever been in initiative here. Is there anything similar to like the fate system wherein I can create an advantage to assist anyone else's like actions in the coming turns?
Yeah. I mean, tell me what it would be. We sort of have Eve doing something like that, right? Like advantaging the deception here.
Okay.
But you could help. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot. I guess in that case, Abe's only recourse, thinking that GlitchAngle's got things well in hand, strolls right up to where Vale and Eve are and goes, Sally, Betty, Sally, Betty, it's been quite some time. How are you lot doing? All right, still got the shakes under control there, eh?
Oh my God, Stephen! How are you? It's been forever.
Hasn't it just?
Oh boy. Where are you now? Are you with Drive On or Airsats Blue? What's new?
Yeah, I mean, I was always a bigger fan of the color green myself, so I don't.
So funny. Well, I was just talking to Sally, and we were saying, I had this terrible conversation near the water cooler with our coworker Jones, and I just told him, go fuck yourself.
Oh, I've had a few run-ins with that Jones character myself. They definitely can go fuck themselves and a large rusty baseball bat.
Oh, wow.
So the way that this works formally in the rules, this is Rat. The way that this works formally in the rules is both of you are rolling a check to see if you're going to add a bonus to GlitchAngle's check, right? GlitchAngle is running the skill here. So this is charisma talk. This is charisma talk for both of you. Only one of you needs to succeed it. If both of you fail it, that's pretty funny. But either one of you succeeding will give a +1 to GlitchAngle's.
This is the point where I will remind everyone that we do have an advantage if anyone wants to use it at any point. It goes away at the end of the session, so we do have at least one if anyone wants to use it. Throwing that out there.
Use it now before things get scary. Says the GM. Okay, cool. Yeah, roll dice about it.
I love when the GM encourages specific use of advantages at certain points. It means that everything's going great.
Flat 7.
You're gonna have to carry us, kid.
Cool,
I'm not
cool,
good
cool.
at the talky talk.
0. Okay, so and Eve, this is you've done the talk and the charisma in this.
They're both 0.
Okay, right on. Great. This is not going to make the. Oh, I rolled a 2. This is gonna make things slightly worse. I lied when I said this is not going to make things worse, right? Like, GlitchAngle had this guy's undivided attention until you all started talking, like, really loudly and interestingly at the back of the car in the manner of people who were trying to hide something. People don't talk on a SiVaRat. People don't socialize on a SiVaRat. Not at 10:06 at night. 10:09 now. The CorpSec is going to sort of look up, and it's going to be 4 on the initiative, which means it's their turn. 2 things to worry about. We're going to start with .rat. .rat is going to use the program Alert the Network. Alert the Network is going to advance a clock. Let me drag this on here. It takes 4 things to go wrong in order for the network to be fully alert. If Vale were to do a program and it would fail, that would count as 1 thing going wrong. So if this was undefended and Vale was a terrible hacker, they could still make the network, like, aware of their presence eventually. The rat alerting the network is going to immediately advance it 2. It gets halfway towards being full. So, bada bing, there we are. If it performs that action again, the network will be alert, whatever that means. It doesn't seem intent on following you. It is staying in its zone there. And preparing to continue alerting the network, it looks like. CorpSec is going to kind of nudge his way past you, GlitchAngle, with one last forlorn look over his shoulder, like, I'm going to come back to this later, but I got a job to do. And sort of approach the 3 of you at the end and say, all right, what's going on over here?
Okay, I have to remember I'm not the party face in this game, so like somebody's gonna have to.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Were we being too loud?
He's gonna try to look around you to see
I
what's
will
happening.
move.
You're just like swaying with him.
Yeah. Like the car, like the train cars move. I'm the kind of person, me, Cal, I'm the kind of person on BART who does not touch anything. So I move with the train. Eve's doing the same thing, trying to move with the train.
Nice. Yeah, kind of like as he lurches to one side, you lurch to the same side, back and forth. I want you to roll about it, and what I want you to roll is we've not done a saving throw yet in this game. Let's see what a saving throw looks like. A saving throw is a 20-sided die, and you're just trying to get higher than where it says evasion saving throw on your character sheet, which is underneath the skills.
Underneath the skills. Okay, so 15. I need to get higher than a 15.
You need to get a 15 or higher.
Oh, okay.
You could certainly spend advantage on this too if you wanted to. Not that I'm encouraging you to spend it early in the session.
Do we want me to spend advantage here, friends? I got
Unless
one
you-
thumbs up.
Unless you want things to get real shooty real soon.
I got four approvals. Okay, God, how do I do that in the?
You
chat?
are rolling. I mean, the easiest way to do it is just roll the d20 twice. In this case, because you're just rolling 2d20.
Natural 20, the first time.
We're gonna pretend that was the result of using the advantage, and not that you were gonna roll a natural 20 all along. You want to roll the second time just for funsies?
Sure, I can do that. And I just press the up arrow. Another natural 20. Okay.
Okay.
What
so
the
well.
actual shit?
Okay. I just want to say for the
La
record
la
here that
la.
we've had 2 critical misses and 2 critical hits in the tutorial fight, essentially, is what this is.
Two
Yeah.
natural
So,
20s.
like two synchronized clocks, like metronomes that have lined up. You sway with his swaying. And completely, like, he is aware of you, he is aware of Abe. He is not yet aware of Vale's existence. Like, you are totally blocking them. He knows somewhere in that patter there was a third character that you were talking to, but in this moment, as it's swaying, he's just looking at the two of you and saying, like, all right, talk less loud. And get out of that doorway. Yeah. And assuming that you're going to do that, he's going to start pulling back towards the rest of his patrol route. Though he'll probably glance over his shoulder once or twice to make sure that you are indeed stepping away from the doorway. That's next turn problem, though. The other security guy has left the room, Lorelei. Like, he's clearly going back and forth on his route here. You are about 2 minutes to the station. Laura, it's your turn. What are you up to?
I'm gonna do something real stupid. I'm just gonna go ahead and try and see if I can get the doors between that other security guard towards the back and where I am, kind of just block them, maybe shove like a chair, some chairs in front of them, and just look at the woman and go, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, okay, I like this. The chairs are not usually movable in that they
Sure.
are attached to the ground.
Okay.
Are you pulling up chairs and moving them in front of this door? You could probably also just like try to force the door in some way, but it's up to you what the pitch is for like getting it closed or
Ooh,
blocked.
I have a briefcase with me. I established this in the last episode.
You
Is
did.
there a way for me to like jam part of it into the like door so it won't open?
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna ask you to roll a skill about it.
Okay.
Tell me. I mean, I would think normally like exert, but if you've got a different skill that you want to pitch for this,
Exert. Let me look. I'm assuming it's strength plus
yeah.
exert. So that would give me a base roll.
Honestly, you could pitch me like intelligence or wisdom if that's better for you, in terms of like knowing where to stick the papers.
It is not. My strength and my intelligence are kind of the same.
Gotcha.
But if I did intelligence, what would be the other side of that? Because would it still be exert?
I mean, I'd even allow fix. Again, I'm pitching skills that you probably don't have. Don't worry, you'll have the ability to gain more skills when you level up.
Just
you're not-
intelligence
is
and
it-
talk. I just talk to the door to not open.
Excuse me, door. Please don't.
Please.
It's probably not going to be talk. Sorry.
That's fine. I think I'll just go with like strength then.
Cool. Rolling flat.
Ooh.
Oh.
Could I do strength and sneak so that maybe the guard doesn't hear me doing it?
I will allow it. That's a weird combination, but let's go. You sneak the papers underneath the door and try to get them bunched up there.
Okay. 2d6. 4 plus 2, 6.
So 6 is like an easy success, so here's what I'm going to say. You have succeeded at the very least, as you've ducked underneath the glass panel of the door. The guard in the other room does not know that you're doing something suspicious. If he happened to glance back the other way, he'd maybe see that you weren't there anymore, but he's facing away from you down towards the end of the train. You are not sure that these papers are going to hold under scrutiny. If you spent maybe another turn reinforcing them, you've got it like halfway there. But it's a work in progress, you feel.
Okay. That is fine.
The woman who was reading the smut will sort of also glance over her shoulder, see what you're doing, shrug back at you, nod, and go back to reading her tablet.
Besties now. Got it.
Yeah. You have a connection, and that connection is you have fulfilled her, voyeurism kink, or the opposite side of that. So you're cool.
I will
She's
remember
cool. You're
this.
cool with her.
One day I'll have to call on Smut Lady. I don't know why, but
Vale, it is your turn. We're back around the top.
Okay, I've spent the entire rest of this round. The word you're looking for, everyone, is exhibitionism. Sorry to butt in. It's just faster. Exhibitionism is the word you're looking for.
You are correct. That is
you
the
can,
word we were looking
You can
for.
clip that out of context later, and everyone will be very confused. Vale is. I have a question about. Well, okay. The current. Let's go in order. I have one more space to move through to get to the front of the car, right? I don't currently see any more dot rats or anything.
That's right. You would know if there was a barrier in these sections in between, so you know that the path is unhindered. You would not know if there was another dot rat up ahead in the top car.
Okay. I'm gonna have to ask a bunch of questions just for player understanding of the thing. Do I think that from where I am and the fact that I am in the network to some degree, what would I be able to fuck with from here? Would I actually be able to, like, is there the equivalent of, like, I could go up to the stone walls of the sewer and, like, pull out the brick and, like, reach into the secret cache to, like, destroy the magic scroll that is the program, or whatever equivalent this looks like for me doing hacker shit?
Right. So the way that this works is essentially, and not all networks are a one-to-one correlation with rooms like this is, but this one does seem to be this, where every one of these nodes controls what's going on in this room. Right? So from the node you're in right now, you could control those 4 doors and only those 4 doors. You could control the conceivably the doors fore and aft as well, right? Like the doors that lead up and down the train. You can control the camera. Presumably, if the pattern holds from this front one, you'll be able to do things with the operator car.
Right. I am... Vale is having a moment of clarity and realizing that they should have stayed in that first node and just fucked with shit from there. But they're too deep in. So I think I'm going to take the gamble and try to get to the operator car, because I think that's going to give me the best possibility of affecting cars further down the line, like the one that most of my folks are in. So I am going to start by just moving and hoping that whatever's in here, I can get a program off.
I like what you said, so I'm going to plagiarize it. You are in a room at the end of this of sewers, and literally it's just like a wall of scrolls, right? Like the scrolls that control every part of this train. Like this is the server room. This is the core. This is the hub that gives you access to all things. You can see additionally on top of that, there is one door, the door that opens and closes the operator's car. There is not a camera in the operator car. So you can't really see what's going on in there necessarily, but you have access to all the doors of the train. You have access to all of the cameras of the train. You would still normally have to do them individually, except now that you're sitting here and kind of digging into the programming, you could see that if you had a program that went like hijack train, you could start doing like lots of things at the same time.
Cool. That is, interestingly, about where my next question was going to lead, because in my in my spell book, there is a subject called program, and the only verb associated with program is terminate. My question was, and this, I don't know if this is bending the rule, like this is genuinely, like, I don't know how this works. I have hijack, which is normally applied to a device. If I am in the control room, could I apply hijack program to basically fuck with the train schedule?
Yes.
Okay, great. Like, the whole idea is, like, I just want to, like, I want to go in and be like, you're going to get to Treasure Island and stop for 2 minutes and then continue on your normal program track.
I think that is very plausible, right? Part of these, like every one of these trains, it seems now that you're here, every one of these SiVaRat vehicles is running its own program to tell it where to be and when. You imagine that there are probably all kinds of liabilities with that, and you're about to exploit one of them.
I am assuming, and this might be a wrong like this is a player assumption, but also character assumption. And if I would know better, tell me. I am assuming that we are at a point where like SiVaRat, everything is automated. There is still technically a human. It's like our current like automated cars. There's technically a human sitting in the driver's seat in case something goes wildly awry. But for the most part, they're reading a newspaper while the program executes.
You think that is highly likely? Yeah.
Okay,
as far as you know, that is correct. You are in the front. You're about, maybe a minute away now from the place where you have to do the thing.
Great. What I want to be able to do, if I need to just wait, I will just wait. If I can somehow, like, basically set a timed hijack program so that in 1 minute when we hit... I want the trigger, essentially, to... held action trigger when we hit Treasure Island Station. I want the train to pause for... I'm gonna say 90 seconds. I want it to be as minimal as possible because I don't want to raise too many alarms. And I think Vale is already aware that they are probably going to get jacked. Like, they're probably going to have to jack themselves out very abruptly and take whatever hit that takes, in order to get out from the rats.
So here's what you got to know. Okay. Yeah, here's what you got to know. Let's roll it now because if it goes wrong, you can realize that it's wrong and try it again.
Great.
You are rolling intelligence programming. You are using whatever the skill mod for the hijack program is. I think it's one of the harder ones. So
it is a -1. It is a more difficult. It is not my most difficult, but it is one of my more difficult programs. So.
All right. Let's roll that, and then you can spend a point of access after the roll is done.
Great. Okay, so this is 2d6 plus my intelligence plus my program minus the hijack penalty.
Exactly. Against whatever the difficulty of this network is, which we haven't established because you've not tried doing anything with it.
That's not... I don't care. We're just going to start with this and keep going. Okay.
Wait. Have we accumulated enough bytes to get another advantage roll? Is that what someone was saying in the chat right there?
Yes, Duke Fleeg was very kind and gave us another 500 bytes earlier. I acknowledged it to him, but I did not say it out loud in the stream because we were busy with other things. So I will throw out there to Alondra that is available to you if you want it.
Let me get my syntax correct to
/
see how bad
other way around.
Yeah, no, I just that was me fat fingering my keyboard like a true hacker.
For sure.
Okay, that is a 6. -1 plus 2, so that is a 7. I will put it to the group if you want me to burn the advantage now and see if I can do better on this first roll, or if you want me to hold off and see how badly this goes.
Well, considering Cal burnt our, lucky net 20s, you do what you want. You will.
I'm gonna say.
I was going to say two rules things for the record. From now on, you got to decide before you make the first roll.
Yeah, I know.
That's fine. Let's go forward with that. I have one more point to burn if this doesn't work. And so if it doesn't work, then we can go forward with that.
This works for the story too. And it's this, right? So like a normal like home network is a difficulty of 7. This is clearly harder than that. It doesn't feel like it's much harder. You got to 7, right? 7 was the final?
7 was the final.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is like an 8 or 9-ish.
That seems like
Vale
the
is
zone.
assuming it's like an 8 or 9-ish based on my player knowledge of how difficulties work.
But that is going to advance the alertness of the system as you try to hack into it and realize that, like, you're going to have to take off the kid gloves for this shit. Like, this is a somewhat reinforced system.
Question?
What's this? Yeah, sorry, go for it.
Well, you can go first if you want. I just have a question for God about...
I was going to say, like, what does this look like in the scrolls? Like, what are you doing in this room at the end of the sewer with walls full of spell scrolls?
Raccoon Vale is, reaches into their pockets and, like, dips their little fingernails into, like a secret, I don't know if it's, like, charcoal or ink or, like, something, some sort of, like, dark, like, and starts, like, grabbing at the appropriate scrolls and, like, rewriting the spells, essentially.
Nice. Yeah,
with, like,
absolutely.
Little raccoon fingers. My question for God.
At present, they're just, like, reverting back too quickly. Ask your question for God.
how much awareness / control do I have of my physical body while I am in cyberspace?
I think one of your abilities is that you can also take a main action as your body. Like while you're doing actions in cyberspace, your body can also do actions.
Because
most people can't do that.
Because my hacker allows me to take my hacking as like a bonus action.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Other people have skills, but your skills are mad, and that means that you can do such things as move your body around to some extent while you're moving your mind around.
Great. That if you will allow, I don't necessarily. It's not like a true action. It's more of a flavor thing. But I think Vale has enough external awareness that Eve, you're gonna feel the hand kind of come up, and I don't know, like grabbing like the belt or putting the hand in the pocket. It just in like it's that like. It is the anchor point that is also letting you know, because this has probably happened before, of like things are not going well and I am prepping so that if my physical body collapses, I'm not gonna just clack onto the floor.
Nice. Abe, Glitch, Eve, it is that corner's turn. The security guard is leaving, but he is looking over his shoulder to get a sense of what you guys are up to in response to his demand.
I mean, he said we were copacetic if we just kept it down, Mo, right? Like, he doesn't suspect anything else going.
And step away from the door, he said.
Step away from the door, he said. Oh.
I want to try to distract him to keep him from noticing that they're not stepping away from the door, because now I feel like his suspicion level has been turned down a little bit, and I'm trying to keep him focused on me and the rest of the car and not on the fact that they're not moving away from that door. Also, Deeples, you sent 500 bits in? Come on.
We can do that?
This
Is that against the rules?
And this is why
What
it's
are we
important to
doing?
talk in session zeros, everyone.
It's not against the rules as far as I know.
Oh
It's
my
not
god.
against
It's
the
real life
rules yet.
money I'm giving to our group. I won't do it all the time, but
I love it.
I think that's how rich people get rich.
I'm not gonna ban it now, but I'm gonna think about that one. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like pay to play, but I'm not gonna ban it this one time because you've already done it.
Valid.
I mean, I would have given Ren bits no matter what. So if this is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah.
throwing bits at my friend,
What if I just
What
throw
you wanna
500
do-
bits into the chat for Sam and level the
Yeah.
playing
oh
field?
yeah,
Oh, that's what
I'll
we're
give
talking
it to
about.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, brave
Eve-
new world.
Eve would also probably gesture to Abe, like, you go first. I'm gonna stand here as long as I possibly can so I can block this view as long as I possibly can.
Yeah, Abe's gonna do that. He's just gonna, every good soldier does as he's told. So he's just gonna, slowly, right? Oh, owing to his age. Oh, my back. Yeah, just give me a bit, sport. The old hams don't work as well as they used to.
You're confused. The security guard's confused. Like it's good, right? He's not going to roll anything as you walk. You don't have to roll anything as you walk across the room. He'll sort of track that. Glitch, you're also making a distraction.
Yes.
It's more of the same, or changing tactics.
I mean, the previous seemed to be working well enough with the suspicion level turned down a little bit, so I'm going to keep to that track so I don't want to look like I'm changing tactics based on what is going on back there.
Sure. Yeah, you sort of come up against him with your performance. He'll tear his eyes away from Abe walking forward and focus on you, and he'll say something idiotic like, ride trains often.
Not as often as I'd like, dear.
Yeah. He'll spend his turn engaging with that, essentially. Like,
Amazing.
completely useless. He has not left this car. His patrol should have taken him out, but now he's, again, somewhat interested in Abe, mostly interested in Glitch, totally no longer interested in Eve. Yeah, Eve, hit me.
I want to grab Vale's hand and squeeze it. Can Vale feel that? Would I know
Yeah.
that? Okay, Cool.
I don't know if you would know it, but Vale can feel it.
Okay, cool. So I grab Vale's hand and I squeeze it, and then I write on their forearm security. I don't know if they will be able to understand it, but I write it on their forearm with my finger.
Nice. How does that manifest Vale in the virtual space? Like, what do you get from that? Player's choice. You can understand it if you want to.
When I reach into my pockets to re-up my, like, ink or whatever that I'm using to try to rewrite these, I reach in and I pull what would it be? I think it's different for every person because not a lot of people know that this works. Like, Vale doesn't have a lot of human contact if we haven't established that. So I think it manifests slightly differently for any person who kind of knows that this works. I think it's reaches in, feels something in their pocket that wasn't there before, and pulls out. I think it's a tube of lipstick, and on the side it says security.
Nice. Perfect.
And that's how messages from Eve sort of manifest for them. Just looks and goes, "Ha!" Sticks it back in their pocket, continues scrabbling.
Oh my god. Chat, you gotta figure out what, like, every single person who could send Vale a message, what their symbol would be. We've got two not problems and one problem. The not problems are the corporate security guys. One of them is totally invested in GlitchAngle. The other one is finished the end of his patrol, is moving back towards the door, but isn't going to get there this turn, right? Like, he's not paying attention to Lorelei. He doesn't know what's going on there. The problem is the rat is going to finish its purpose, its sole purpose in this world. The rat will squeal, and the security level will reach maximum. The alertness level will reach maximum. Two things happen as a result of the alertness level reaching maximum. The first thing is, inside the simulation Vale, you can see all of the scrolls. The text is now like swimming and scrambling around inside. It's not impossible to do what you're trying to do, but it's going to get harder because they know you're in here. Usually only one or two harder. Like, this isn't going to make it impossible, just an extra level of dealio here. The thing that is perhaps more worrisome is across the entirety of the train, alarms are now going off. There's no equivalent to this in 2025 SiVaRat, for those of you at home who are wondering about that. Alarms are going around the train. The lighting has changed from the sort of sterile off-white of mass transit everywhere into now red blinking lights, and both the security guards are in what the fuck mode. Lorelei, it's your turn.
Is the guard coming back towards me?
Now that the alarms are going off, he is moving much more quickly. He knows that there's nothing wrong going on in his car. There is... You've been around long enough to get the sense that there's like maybe a civilian in that car, but not much more than that. So he's, with increased speed, not running, but striding meaningfully towards the door that you are crouched behind, stuffing things underneath.
Can I shift so that I am like, because the doors slide open, right?
Yeah.
Can I
And there's
shift?
one on his car and then one on your car. Yeah.
Sure. Can I shift into like just before like the doors would slide? I'm on like the right side of the wall kind of thing.
Sure.
Still kind of crouched down. And I'm gonna kind of do what I do best. I'm gonna stab him.
All right. You are getting ready to stab him. You are moving behind the door. Can you give us a sense of what your arm is doing in this moment?
Oh, yeah. So I think as she shifts, her like hand like opens and like a blade comes out, and then like it reforms around the blade, so it looks like it's one continuous blade out of her arm. Yeah.
Nice. As you do that, one of the civilians is asleep. You're kind of camped like in the seats behind the sleeping civilians, sprawling body. The other one, the woman with the pad, is now like looking up. It's kind of like head cocked to the side. She will put the pad down on the ground. Yeah, you give her the shh, and she'll kind of like, right on. She's still here for the beer. Whatever's gonna happen.
We are gonna have some fun times me and this lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's there. We're back around to the top. Vale, you have set off the alarms. You are 30 seconds to D-Day here. You can feel mentally the pressure of the bay crushing down and the looming presence of the arcology rapidly moving towards you. What's the play?
I think this is where I'm at. I basically only get one more shot at a hacking. So, and I don't really have any way to communicate with people. I'm gonna for the listeners at home, the thought process is I basically have two options. I can attempt to hijack again in the way that I just did and hope that it works this time. Or I can pivot and I can try to just unlock doors and hope that the unlock feature just causes them to like fly open, which will force the train to stop because there's a malfunction. That is a slightly easier tactical thing to do, but I don't know if it'll work the way I want it to. Having control would be better. I am going to pitch to the rest of my group. May I use the advantage on whichever thing I decide? Okay, great. That was a full yes from everybody.
So on D6s, what you're rolling is roll 3d6 KH2. So you're rolling
Thank you.
3 6-sided dice and keeping the highest two out of them.
Okay. Roll 3d6
Which is mathematically less good than actual advantage, but we gotta put a lid on how much you can buy success in this game.
No, that's welcome to my constant struggle as the keeper of the bits in the chat. Not on this channel, but in the past.
Keeper of the bits.
Keeping this real, declaring before I do it. I think my move is to. I think I'm gonna try to hijack program again, because if I can get more control, that's better. So I think it's the harder skill level. So this is gonna be a +2 -1, leveling out to a +1 on whatever I roll. Here we go. Send me prayers, friends. God damn it, my syntax didn't work. Again, because I keep fat fingering where my slash
Dramatic
is.
pause.
It's fine. It's just building tension.
Huh.
That is a 9 + 1 for a 10.
All right, a 10 gets you there. You think a 10 maybe just gets you there. It was in the 9 or 10 range at this moment. But you own this fucking train. You control it. You have complete access to all of the cameras, all of the doors, the speed. You've got it.
Amazing.
You can still only do so many things like at a time with it. But you're a few seconds from the station. What are you doing with this access that you have now?
Vale's pretty spent. I think, again, in the physical world, there's that little bit of nosebleed starting to happen. This has been a much rougher hack than anything they've done recently. Weirdly, they thought this was going to be a lot easier, I think. Yeah, I think the play is that I want to just, within the bounds of however this works, now that I have control of the program, I want to basically rewrite whatever the, like, system parameters are to say, you know, when we hit Treasure Island, stop for 90 seconds, open doors on all cars, and then close doors, resume program.
Cool. You have made that programming. You do not need to roll again. You're already in there. You take
Sick.
maybe 20 of the 30 seconds you have left, rapidly putting together a program to make that all happen, shoving the scrolls into the appropriate slots. As you roll into the station, it'll start happening. But you still got to be plugged in for at least until the end of this turn.
Yep.
So we're going to keep it going down because there is now 2 security guards who think that there is something wrong happening, because there is. Abe, Glitch, Eve, this security guard drags his mind out of the gutter, out of whatever GlitchAngle is implicitly promising him, and is now trying to figure out what the fuck.
May I? You can say no, because I've done a lot on this turn. May I, again, with that like little bit of connection I have to my physical body, can I just take the hand that Eve is squeezing and just snake it around her waist?
Okay. Yeah.
That's all. That's all it is.
Doable. Abe, Glitch, Eve. You've got a alert security guard. He is reaching down for his walkie-talkie with one hand. He's not yet going for a weapon.
I think when Vale puts their arm around Eve, I will reciprocate, grab the jack in the back of their head, and pull.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Huh. Vale, I'm gonna make you roll dice.
Okay.
I don't know what those dice are yet. It's a mental saving throw.
Oh my god.
Okay. 2d6.
This is a d20. Sorry, saving throws. Yeah,
Okay.
this is weird. Attacks
Okay.
and
No,
saving
that's
throws are d20. Everything's roll high.
No, that's fine. That's fair.
Pattern recognition says that only 20s get rolled on d20s, so you'll be fine.
Okay. I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. God damn it! Why?
I was ready this
The
time for it
suspense
emotionally.
is killing me.
I was
don't-
ready for it emotionally. 17.
17.
You have got your program off at the last possible second. Like you are, like as you feel the physical, like jack being ripped from your head, you slam the last couple of scrolls into place. One of them starts to like fall out of its slot. You elbow it back in, and then boom, you vanish from the mental space of cyberspace, and you are back in the room with everyone else.
I'm just muttering in their ear, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm
No,
so
no,
sorry.
I was trying to
And
say- I
like
was trying to say-
guiding
I was trying
them
to say-
toward a seat.
No. It was fine. It was fine. I was trying to stand. Shit. Okay, I think it worked.
You're
Very,
like 98% sure
very
this program
quietly.
is gonna do.
Um,
What it's not gonna do is there's no adjusting it at this point, right? Like it's off. It's gonna do
Yep.
whatever you just told it to do. Right on. Okay. You see that happening. Glitch, Abe. The suspicious activity is no longer being done, so the security guard cannot find anything. He might still be a problem. What are the two of you up to?
So I'm in the interim, I've been furiously reading the combat section because, of course, the combat-heavy character neglected to read that section in any detail for reasons.
We're all doing research at the last possible second. It's fine.
Okay, but I understand that readying a weapon is a main action. Is readying a weapon the same thing as brandishing it and it being visible or detectable to NPCs?
Right, so step one, yeah, if you draw a weapon, that's the main action.
Yep.
If you want to try to draw a weapon in a subtle way, tell me about it. You can still do it as a main action.
So here's the deal, right? Like, I imagine what Abe has on is like, well, it's this. It's a shoulder holster under his little suit jacket, right? And you know, what he has, there's a little strap that retains the thing so it doesn't drop off unexpectedly. And then from there it's like a smooth, like you can kind of get it out there, but you can leave it in the jacket, right? And so basically,
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you can do that as an action. You sort of like slipped it into a readied position. He's again probably, if GlitchAngle's still distracting him, he's probably mostly absorbed with that. He's looking at everyone. He knows that there's something wrong, or he thinks there's something wrong, but I don't think that's an obvious enough action to draw his attention.
Okay. So it's basically halfway out of its little pocket, and if he decides he wants to make things difficult, Abe's just gonna have no choice but to excuse himself while he whips this thing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Glitch.
You are not helping the phrasing problem here.
Guns are phallic. We knew that.
We knew that. Everyone
You're not
knew that.
wrong.
Glitch, so here's the sitch, right? Like, he's looking for something going wrong. You are the most interesting thing in the room, so he kind of thinks that maybe you are somehow involved with what's going wrong. Like, you are the least normal thing that he sees right now.
I mean, he's not
in this
wrong,
area.
but also I am not directly connected to the train, so I am more than happy to get his attention on me while I catch
Yeah.
Abe's eye and do kind of that, like, steady on gesture, like a hand, like, kind of petting a cat gesture of don't throw things over right now. I think I have control over this. If I'm wrong, then go for it, but for right now, steady.
All right. As you are doing that, the security guard is going to, like, sort of manhandle you away, just up towards a wall, and say, not like an aggressively sexual way, but an aggressively cop way.
Oh, okay.
And just, and what this comes down to is, like, he's going to be saying, what cyberware do you have? What have you been doing? I need a full rundown of what you've got in you.
And frankly, GlitchAngle is going to be almost completely honest. She's not going to say that she's streaming, but she will say all the other cyberware that she's got going on and go into the, oh, but I'm just a poor little influencer. Please don't hurt me. Oh, you big strong man. Ooh.
I don't need a roll because that's going to succeed one way or the other, right? Like, he either believes you or he doesn't. But the moral of the story is he's still focused on you, right?
Yeah.
So, like, he is not, throughout the entirety of this, Vale has gone into the system, fucked around, come out of the system completely undetected by human eyes, essentially. At least only the rat has been aware of Vale's travails inside. That's the good news for everyone on that car. The bad news for everyone on the other car is a corporate security guy is going to walk into this room and get lured, probably. He pushes open his door. He walks forward. He tuk against the paperwork that you rammed into the system, puts his shoulder into it, kind of rams it open. As he does, he stumbles forward a couple of steps. You're not, like, hidden, but he's stumbling. You're up in the benches. So, like, you're going to have a real clean shot on him if you want to try to stab this guy.
Oh, that's a great. Do I want to murder somebody on a train with cameras?
You know, at the very least, that Glitch's cameras aren't on you. There's a bunch of rooms between you and Glitch.
True. The lighting has changed in here, right? When the alarm started going
Red
off?
flashing strobes.
So maybe that's a concealing thing. I'm not gonna kill him, but I am gonna maim him.
Yeah.
So that he is less of a problem for us later.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stab him, but not.
Throughout this time, incidentally, nothing seems to have changed in the secret car. It just remains. No one has come in or out.
Sure.
You're gonna stab him. Give me an attack roll is on your character sheet on the combat tab. It'll
Okay.
It might not be on the combat tab for you because of your sword arm. Did I make your sword arm into a weapon?
I
know I thought about doing that.
I added a sword, but I didn't I don't think you added anything.
I think
yourself.
that will work. What's the
Okay.
damage say for the sword
Damage
in your
is a
character sheet?
D8.
Let me double check something real quick on a different part of your character sheet.
Sure.
I was definitely prepared for you to sword art someone. Okay, yeah. So that's your attack roll. That's fine. It's actually going to do 2d6 damage because you're scary as fuck.
Okay.
Roll that, whatever the plus bonus is for your sword. Roll a d20 and add that in.
Oh, okay. D20. Please be good, baby. It's not. 4.
Strong start. So this guy is not, like, particularly well armored. He's wearing the same sort of, like, slightly padded clothing that many of you are wearing. That means that his AC is probably around 10. 4 is not 10. My question for you, Lorelei, is what happens here? Are you, like, getting caught on the door above him? Like, what's the error that's been made?
I think she hesitates.
Mm-hmm.
I think she doesn't really want to kill him. and he stumbles and she's behind him and is like gonna go, but she hesitates.
He will look up with big "what the fuck is going on here" energy as you just swing your sword arm down and clatter it against, scratch it against the metallic paint of the floor behind him. This behemoth of blade in the strobe light has landed behind him, and he is not okay with it. He does not have a weapon drawn, so he is at least 2 turns away from being able to do any single thing about this. But it's actually going to get weirder, because at this moment, at the end of the turn, the train pulls into the station, the doors fly open, and all hell is really going to break loose. Let's take a 5-minute break.
You son of a bitch. Okay, let's go.
I'm getting too old for this kind of shit.
Wonderful. Okay.
For the win.
Oh, I love it. All right, folks, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Just as a scoreboard, we've got 2 advantage for our side and 1 advantage on Sam's side to be used as necessary before the end of this session. Just
I think
throwing
it's
that
1
out
and
there.
1. I burned 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you did burn 1. My apologies. So 1 and 1 currently.
Okay, we're tied. We're even.
So helpful. All right, we'll be back very shortly, folks. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back. We're screwed. Sam, over to you.
Treasure Island Station is dark. It is lit by the blinking red lights of your train. You can see their platform. The platform has no lights on it itself, covered in a thin layer of dust, columns holding up the massive arcology above it. All of the doors are open on your train. That was the programming. You've got doors that are open to the platform. You've got doors that are open back away from the platform to the edge of where the SiVaRat tracks meet the other wall of the tunnel. What you weren't expecting is 2 things. Maybe, I don't know what you were expecting. What you weren't expecting is 2 things. Thing 1, the platform is lit by the glowing red lights of your train. The platform is also lit by the glowing red lights of another train on the other side of the platform on the other track. An eastbound train. That's the first thing. The second thing that you weren't expecting was the sound of gunfire. Flashes going off. These aren't fucking pistols. This is heavy gunfire. Rifles lighting in the darkness. You hear screams on your train. You hear screams on the other train. People are standing up. This is a platform. I don't know if we're going to need this space, but there it is if you need it. You can't really see anything on it right now because, again, it's dark, but you can see shapes moving around, like in the middle of a firefight that looks like it started maybe like 10, 15 seconds ago. I'm going to keep us in the initiative, even though nothing is immediately fighting you. I just want to know, like, what folks are doing. Vale, what are you doing?
All this gunfire starts going off. Vale is sitting with Eve and is probably very like heavily leaning on Eve. And I think just looks at it and it's just the eyes get big. There's like the little petechia. There's the little bit of like the nosebleed, and just looks and just starts going, 90 seconds was too long. 90 seconds was too long. 90 seconds was too long. Shit. Should have gone with 60. Should have gone with 60. And just like it, like almost like just like weird like mantra, like hyper fixation is just staring out the window.
Yeah. Abe, Glitch, Eve, violence outside, weapons of high caliber being shot, screams, 2 trains. What are you up to?
I'm between 2 options, but I think self-preservation wins most of the way for Glitch, in that she gets low, but also is kind of peeking up enough so that she can see out the edge of the window. Her and all of the viewers, this is about to go fucking viral.
Yeah. Glitch, give me a wisdom notice roll just to see how deeply into this you're able to see. You don't have like infrared vision in that eye of yours or anything fancy like that, do you?
No, I thought about getting that and I didn't. Wisdom and Notice.
Notice. Yeah.
So that will be a -1 on whatever I roll. So that's a 9.
Nine's
Damn,
good. Nine's
Jesus.
better than 8. Right. So here's the sitch. Right. There seem to be a couple of different groups of people in this firefight that is taking place on the station. One of them you can see are wearing the dark suits of the train security, like maybe security from the other train. A second one is they look like mercenaries. There's a group of like armed mercs, very heavily chromed. They look like they're trying to fight. Both of these groups seem like they're trying to fight their way across the platform. There's a third group there with a 9. They're hard to make out because they are wearing black on black in the darkness of this space. You can sort of see the glint of chrome, but like subtle chrome going up the arms of some of these people. You can see a heavy like combat rifle in hand. Insofar as you can tell what's happening, the corporate security from the trains are just like running around in a panic. One has left your train too, from further up your train, and is on the platform, running around trying to figure out what the hell is going on. As far as you can tell, the mercenaries are trying to make it, vaguely speaking, towards your train from the area of the other train. And it seems that the people in black are just killing everyone. They are also breaching onto your train at various points.
I have a quick question just for painting the picture.
Please.
My command when I entered it for all doors to open, did that also hit the mysterious 7th car?
The mysterious 7th car's doors are also open.
Okay. Just wanted
you
to
are
check.
there. Let me reveal some stuff inside. You see 4 security guards inside, 2 civilians. One of the civilians is noticeably underdressed compared to everyone else there. He looks like a guy from the streets, essentially. He's looking nervous as fuck. Everyone now is looking nervous as fuck. He is carrying a very fancy briefcase, kind of held to him like this. The other civilian is a suited, sort of larger woman. She looks around, sees that the doors have opened, slams a jack into the wall, and closes the 2 doors of this train. Of that car. I will allow, because it all happened very quick, if someone wants to try to like dodge onto the inside of that room, they totally can.
Can I just roll to see if I recognize either of those 2 civilians?
Yeah. Connect? No? Intelligence? Somewhere in that zone?
Yeah, I'll I don't have a lot of those, but I at least have some int, so if I could just roll under that.
And then we'll go to Even and Abe.
Just hoping that any of my like any of my unfortunate gang connections, most of whom hate me, but like I still know who they are because I avoid them.
Roll it. I'll take it.
That's an 8 if I add my
That's
int.
an 8.
Okay.
8's good. 8's good for something. So
Sure.
You don't recognize either of these. I mean, the woman has clearly like. I'll say that with the speed that she was able to. With the speed that she was able to get into the system, she probably has some like system access to this train, or at least the car that she's in. Looking quickly, this is weird. She seems to have closed the doors leading fore and aft to the other parts of the train. She did not close the doors out of the train.
Oh, I hate that. Okay, thank you.
But other than that, you're not really recognizing either of those people as like known individuals. You wouldn't be surprised if the lower dressed guy was a ganger of some kind, but he's not someone on your radar. The music has gotten chill for a moment, but the situation is not chill. Eve, Abe, what's going down?
I mean, well, I'm sorry, Cal. You okay?
Go for it.
Well, yeah, no, the moment he hears gunfire, fucking the piece comes out, and he goes prone, and he yells after Eve and, Vale, you better get the fuck down, kid, Doc, you want to keep those pretty little heads of yours. And, So in the rulebook, prone says on turn action, which
Which
I
means
don't-
you can do other things. That's like a free action.
all right. And then he readies the piece. Like he's out. He's gonna point it at the first weird looking shape that looks threatening.
Okay, right on. So just to be clear, pointing it like out the doors towards the platform, waiting to see if something comes your way.
Essentially.
Okay, right on. You've done that, Eve.
I'm sitting in a chair. I will get out of the chair and pull Vale with me if I can. I will crouch, and I will yell to Abe. Wait, how many seconds do I think have passed? 5, 10?
Yeah, somewhere in that zone, 5-10.
Okay. I will yell at Abe. We've got 80 more seconds.
Nice.
Assuming that the train's just gonna run the program that whatever Vale told it to do, we have that much time.
On 4, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I want to try to get between, if this is anything like Bart, I want to get between 2 rows.
Yeah,
With
you can do
Vale.
that, right? You crouch down with Vale. You've got a degree of cover insofar as anyone can have cover in a SiVaRat train that has all of its doors open, save the one interesting door, which is just slammed shut. It is 4, which is bad guys, so a couple of things are going to happen. The security guard that was holding you, GlitchAngle, is going to shove you like out of the way, essentially, and run out onto the platform to see what the hell is going on out there. He has gone out. He is immediately under fire. He's not like shot to death immediately, but he's like in that scene and no longer your immediate problem. Lore, the one who you attacked, is going to see you as the greater threat. He is going to spend his action drawing his piece. That is his action. He is going to spend his movement getting as far away from you as he fucking can, like navigating so that there is a couple of chairs, a couple of rows of plasticine seats between you and him, so that he can get some cover before he shoots the living fuck out of you. Laura, it's your turn.
How close to the door is he?
Ooh, roll me a luck roll.
Oh.
Just roll me a d20.
Okay.
High is good. You can
Okay.
advantage this if you want. You can advantage luck rolls.
Is everybody okay with that or no? I'm getting some no's. We won't do it. It's fine. I will take whatever consequence I get for this. Go away, Adobe.
I was the only no, if that
No,
helps.
it's okay. No.
Okay.
It's okay. If we don't all agree, we don't do it. I think that's only fair, right?
We're such a magnanimous group here. We're just like, if there's any dissension, we will talk about it, and I appreciate that.
15.
You have been rewarded.
Thank God.
As the fates would have it, he is crouched down behind some chairs very close to the door.
Stupidly, I am going to full run and like tackle him out of the door before I start scrambling back into the car.
Nice. Great. You're gonna make a couple of rolls here. One of them is going to be just like a strength plus exert roll to try to
Okay.
get him outside. This is back to a skill, so it's 2d6.
Okay.
Because his armor ain't gonna help him with that.
Okay. Oh. Okay. 7.
7.
Yes.
7 is the total.
Yeah, because I
Cool.
have 0 exert or no exert and plus
Right.
1 strength. So.
All right, very good. So you have pushed him towards the door. He's in that precarious moment where he's got 1 foot inside the SiVaRat train, the gap, and 1 foot outside the SiVaRat train. And he's got a hand in the door, kind of bracing him so he doesn't get fully pushed out. In your mind, you are getting an obnoxious series of text messages that are saying, the fuck, watching Glitch's channel, what's going on, report, get that train moving, don't be there.
Can I respond to him at all?
Them, yeah.
Oh, them.
mean,
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Are
Them.
you texting and driving here? Like, are you as you're trying
Yeah,
to
I
do the
guess
fight? Are you...
so. It's like mid leap. I'm like, what do you think I'm trying to do? For all he knows, I'm not even on the train. Like, he didn't see me, or they didn't see me on the train at all.
That's true. They're making a wild assumption that you're on mission.
They are.
You've got the person half shoved out the door. We're back around to the top. It's like 20 seconds has passed. You've got a lot of seconds left. We're not going to spend time with every one of these seconds because right now nothing is happening in the front car that's going to put pressure on you. You are all hunkered down. At some point you see the security person outside who ran out to engage the situation gets shot, falls to the ground. At some point you are going to see, give me all notice rolls, everyone in the Vale, Abe, Glitch, Eve zone.
That's an 8 for me.
Okay, Abe, do it with 2d6s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
do it.
I'm just
Do
exposing
it.
you to the chat. That's what's happening here.
7 for me.
Like a dirty exposer. Okay, right on.
It's a fail for me.
Abe, you hear rather than see. I think you're in the 10 zone, yeah?
I'm sorry,
For
this was
wisdom. Wisdom and notice.
a wisdom and notice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Yeah, I'm in the 10 zone.
Okay, so here's the sitch. You hear dimly under the sound of the weapons fire from the car, from the forbidden car, a woman's voice say, just fucking go. Just fucking go. It doesn't change anything. And then the sound of a gunfire inside that car.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna file that away for later.
I want to take it to the rest of all of you in the Vale, Abe, Glitch, Eve. As you are hunkering down, nothing is immediately attacking your car. Is there anything that you want to be doing? Glitch, your numbers are exploding.
Love it.
I got an 8, actually, not a 7. I didn't realize I was supposed to add wisdom to that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I did not
So-
say that out loud.
Yeah,
No, that's
they and I
It was
both got
a
8.
quiet whisper underneath a lot of sound that Abe was able to hear with a 10, right? So the difficulty was a hard one for that. You see all the gunfire happening outside. You can't really hear what Abe heard. Abe kind of picked it out of the mess of sound that was happening.
Valid.
I didn't hear the gunshot in the car next to us.
Oh, you heard the
kind of
gunshot.
blipped.
Oh, sure. Sorry. You heard the gunshot. I should
Okay.
say, everyone heard the gunshot in the car next to you. Everyone heard the gunshot in the forbidden car. That was obvious. What you didn't hear was the words preceding it. Thank you for
Got it.
that clarification.
Got
Cool.
it.
Thank you very much.
I think for GlitchAngle, she's desperately curious about who the people in black are, so gonna like turn and focus on them. If they seem to be getting closer to the car, so I want to see
Yeah.
if I can get any of these faces on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably a notice roll, unless rather than looking, you are trying to sneak closer or something. Again, as always, pitch me a skill.
I mean, notice and sneak are equally bad for me, so I'll just go ahead and do that.
Cool.
So that's a 6.
Cool, we'll call it a dexterity notice or something as you try to move forward in a car and see out them. 6. It's hard to find faces. They're wearing some kind of cowls, helmets. It's hard to see what's going on because of the darkness. Even as they're moving towards your car, the lights are deep red, flashing. They must all be somehow looking away from you or something. It's weird that you're not able to see their faces. You should be able to see their faces by now.
Yeah, I am going to like subvocally say to the chat, if anyone can pick out any of these faces and clip it for me later, I would be deeply appreciative. Thank you. Somehow sounded incredibly light and cheery in the middle of a fucking firestorm.
Yeah. If you could be sweating like anime sweat drops, I feel that's where GlitchAngle would be, but certainly not real sweat drops. You've got to, cosmetic surgery.
I have an image to
cyber
maintain.
surgery. Yeah, absolutely. You do know that one of them's gotten onto the secret car. Anything in the Eve or Abe zone before we go down to bad guys and then lore?
How far away am I from the doors?
Which doors?
Good question. The doors that are open to the platform.
I assume that you've tucked yourself and Vale away so that you're not in the immediate, like, line of fire or shot from them. So I'm gonna say maybe, like, 8 feet away. You can only get so far away, but, like, yeah, 8 feet away, let's say.
Okay. I want to go towards the wall, and I also want to look out the window.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can...
I'm looking to kind of see, to get more of a sense of what is going on between these two groups of people in general.
Gotcha. I'd say notice if connect is better, like recognizing the connections between the groups.
Yes.
As always, pitch me a skill.
I was gonna say I'm looking for like organization levels, like how organized are they? The mercenaries obviously are big beefy dudes, but does there seem to be one particular person in charge? Do I recognize that person? That kind of thing.
Yeah, give me that roll.
Okay.
Intelligence and
intelligence.
connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was not good. No, that's a 6.
6. I mean, 6 is an easy success, so I'll give you some like very basic stuff, which is just if you were to rank these groups in terms of like competency, the security guards are just fucking around. Like they are falling out there. They don't even seem to have an intention, right? They're running out in a panic and largely getting shot at, almost incidentally. The mercenaries are more competent. They don't seem to be shooting so much as using like this cyberware built into them. And yeah, again, they were moving towards you. They're not moving towards your train much anymore. They're falling back to a certain extent to the other train under the onslaught of that third group, the people in black. They seem coordinated. They seem competent. They know what they're doing, and what they're doing is holding people off so that one or two of them can get onto your train.
Okay. I will relay that information if it is helpful to Abe and GlitchAngle and Vale.
Abe, it's you. Abe, tactically, the longer you're here, the more chance that there is for people to get onto your train.
Yeah, tactically. I mean, but that being said, like, look, as far as Abe knows, we're about out of here in under a minute, like we were supposed to be. So
the seconds are like ticking on like the clock dipped in molasses.
Okay, don't make a Star Trek 2 reference. Don't make a Star Trek 2 reference. Don't make a Star Trek 2 reference. But hours could feel like days. Days could feel like months. Anyways, no, I mean he continues to lay prone. He continues to aim like at any of the ingress points, and like again, the first soul that shows their face in the doorway gets a cap in their ass. So
yeah, absolutely. It's gonna roll down. Things are happening in places on the train. The person who you are wrestling with, Lore. It's his turn and then your turn technically. He's got a gun out, but you sort of pushed him into the doorway, so he's gonna have a hard time like using that. So instead what he's gonna do is just try to push you back into the train, like push him and you back into the train. He has decided based on the level of gunfire out there that he does not want to be outside of the train, and would rather deal with the immediate problems. Alondra, is it accurate that I have a advantage right now? KH2. Let's see if I squander it. It's 1. He rolled an 8. That's enough to get the two of you back. Thank you, Alondra. That's enough for the team to maneuver the two of you back into the room. The doors are still open, but you're now in there with him, and he's got a little bit more of an access to try to like get this gun into position. You're still right next to him, so it would be hard for him to shoot you unless he got more space. You should have gone for the truncheon. You went for the gun. Lorelei.
Oh god. Okay. Really don't want to be in this anymore.
I want to go home.
I'm gonna do something stupid. Yeah. I'm going to shove and run, and I'm gonna run out onto the platform.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you
Uh-huh.
are.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
you are.
Yeah, I
As
am.
keeper of the metadata, I will also point out that we have a single advantage left for the player side also.
Laura, would you like to use it at this juncture?
If everybody is okay with that, so that maybe Laura doesn't die in episode 2. Okay, then yeah. I don't know what I'm rolling, man. What
Roll
am I doing?
3d6 KH2 and then
Okay,
add your strength
3D.
and exert or something.
Run around to any of the other open doors and just loop back onto the train.
We'll see
Like
what
maybe the one
happens.
that we all ran onto.
Well, oh gosh. Sorry, do it again. No, I got it. Never mind. And you said it was strength and exert.
Yeah.
Straight roll. Okay, Gotti.
Music's playing along. That is
Okay.
exactly an 8. So you have pushed him and yourself onto the platform. We're at the end of the round. A number of things are going to happen at the same time. The first thing that is going to happen is this. You heard a gunshot in the secret car behind you. Now that you are outside, you can see through the doors of the secret car behind you, and you can see that the person who was carrying the briefcase, the underdressed person, the very fancy briefcase, is lying dead on the ground. The security in that room are panicking. One by one, they are getting shot. The other person, the woman dressed in corporate attire, has at this moment managed to get her hands on the briefcase and has run out onto the platform. She runs out onto the platform and she shoves the briefcase into your hands with terror in her eyes. As she shoves the briefcase into your hands, she says, "Don't let them bury this again." And then suddenly the front of her white shirt is red with blood, her eyes vacant as the crash of semi-automatic fire hits her square in the back. She falls, and you alone, at least at this first moment, get a good look in the red light of the secret car at what one of these guys looks like. It's a person of indeterminate gender, dressed in a tight-fitting black combat suit, like combat armor, glistening in the half-light. The automatic shotgun that they hold, you don't recognize the make. You probably wouldn't anyway. The combat knife on their hip, anonymous. That's not what's horrifying. It's not that they were wearing a cowl. It's not that they were wearing a hood. It's not that they were wearing a helmet. You could not see their face because they have no head. Only a metallic cap at the top of their neck, bristling with red lit light wires. Despite this, it turns and, as if it had eyes to see, stares directly at you. Vale, it's your turn. Let's... Lorelai, if you want to get out a quick page, you can, to let people know what's going on.
They just get fuck. I don't think she has enough time to like actually do much more than a single word.
Honestly, in a weird way, this kind of works with what Vale was thinking of doing anyway, to a certain degree. I have no cyber hacking bullshit anything left. That's all tapped out. Vale, we're gonna make this as flavorly stupid as possible. Vale is gonna just like I don't know, like army crawl shimmy, like slide themselves under all of the chairs from where Eve pulled them down to the open doors to where the platform is. What I was going to do was try to do a run around to get into the secret car. Despite the fact that Vale is low dex, Vale is also stupid.
Low dex,
let's
high
be real.
chutzpah.
I think in the timing of this, Vale is gonna maybe see lore on the platform at the very least, and with the clock ticking down in their head, possibly literally in some program that they've got in their like VR crown or their deck or whatever, is just gonna do the like classic transit maneuver of hook one arm around the bar for the standing people, stand in the doorway, and just like throw out a hand to be an anchor point to be able to grab lore and like yank them in at the last seconds and just be like, 20 seconds, let's go! Or
Nice.
whatever the appropriate ground down is.
Nice. Yeah, you brace and you get ready to help lure in. Abe, Lich, Eve, what's going down?
Does Abe see this thing?
You heard the oh fuck, and like in this time between turns, it seems like it is going to be moving out to try to get the thing out of the briefcase that has been shoved unceremoniously into Laura's hands. It is going for that briefcase. So at this moment, it is stepping out onto the platform to try to retrieve that. Just to give a sense of magnitude, I'm going to roll damage for that attack that the headless creature made against the woman in the suit. Yeah, she took 7 points of damage in one shot. So that's what that looks like.
And that was a low roll.
That was a low roll. That was a very low roll.
Oh, I hate that.
Okay, so Abe, you see that happening.
Jesus Christ. Well, unless Bones or TikTok got any other bright ideas, I mean, Lorelai's in danger, Ganglin's in danger. Okay, my turn to do something stupid.
Yes.
And then he just starts blasting, right? So he's full on. He's just all right. This is happening.
Yo, so you're pulling out your pistol. You were giving me an attack roll with the gun?
Yes, I am. So that's the rules say a D20 for hit, right? So
Yes, D20 plus whatever you add to that.
Whatever I add to that. So
On your combat sheet, on the second sheet of your character
plus
sheet.
to hit, right?
That
right.
thing, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 5.
Yeah. So, Abe, you gotta call this for me. You are a trained army, like, you know your shit.
Yeah.
Why is this going wrong in this moment?
Okay, so you said that this thing is, bedecked in full combat regalia, right?
Yeah. And I should describe that not as like Iron Man power suit, but think more like black, tight-fitting, like skin suit. But you know that this is made out of the most highly like reflective, resistant material, able to deflect bullets, lasers, absorb impacts from bludgeons, like
James
powerful
Bond
stuff.
2077.
Okay. So as far as Abe knows, this thing is not very well armored at all. But the moment his shots hit this person's outer wear, the bullets just break and fragment and disperse on impact. For whatever reason, whatever this material is, whatever technology is involved with its construction and any of its other protective capabilities, it just dissipates all the kinetic energy in these bullets to the point where they flatten, they don't penetrate, and they just fall harmlessly on the ground. And he's unloaded the entire mag. It's
either relieving or horrifying. I'll leave it to you which, Abe. This attack was so ineffective that the being does not even turn and respond to you. It is still aiming directly for Lorelei, directly for the briefcase.
All right, and then with that, Abe will leave. Mortimer, this thing is fucking invincible. Get the hell on the train now.
It's Eve or Glitch.
The folks that were on our train before, did they have briefcases?
Yes, the civilians, which I should mention now, are panicking, right? Like, this is all going on. They have gotten behind seats. It seems that all of the security, if there was any more security on this train, they must be cowering at this point or dead. There are briefcases about, yes.
I would like to grab a briefcase, and I would like to, look at Lore. I'm gonna go up to the door, and I'm gonna say, "Switch!" and toss the briefcase.
Right on. Lore, before I have the enemies go, or before I even have Glitch go, tell me how you respond to this, right? A briefcase is flying at your head, as well as all the other things that are going on here.
Sure. Switch means they're throwing briefcases to each other, so I think Lore, without thinking, is gonna go, "Yep," and throw the briefcase.
You toss the other briefcase in. It lands in the room, in the car that contains all of the rest of you. Now it is you, Glitch.
Okay. Does that happen about at this point in what's going on?
Yeah. Right. So everything's kind of happening at once, but it's landing and it's moving towards the car as you are taking whatever action you want to take.
Okay.
Or landing in the car as you're taking whatever action you want to take.
Yeah, I think that I recognize that this thing is what is like the thing that is most important. So I want to like scramble for it, grab it, and move as far away from the rest of the group as possible. Like split. If even Vale are at the back of the train, I'm at the back of the car. I want to move to the front of the car. Like get some distance.
I'm
Nice.
in the doorway, so it came flying past me.
Okay.
Yeah. Vale sort of like does one of like these as it flies in.
Yeah, but basically just
Glitch.
trying to get this thing away.
Lorelei has touched this. Lorelei, this does not happen to you, what I'm about to say to Glitch. Glitch, as you make physical contact with the bag, with the briefcase, and it is a high-tech briefcase, multiple different locks and things, you get a feeling of warmth. Not from the briefcase, but within you as you hold it. Like you just consumed a fizzy drink while slipping into a hot tub. You don't really have time to interrogate that in this moment, but that is what you are feeling as you grab the briefcase and shuttled down to the other end of the car.
Noted. GlitchAngle
bad, guys?
will pin that thought for another time.
Lore, we are now in this precise moment gonna figure out how dumb these things are or aren't. Is there something you would like to do to somehow make a deception where the briefcase that you have been thrown at you is actually the briefcase this guy wants? Do you want to not make this seem to be the briefcase this guy wants? All else being equal, the headless being is going to charge into the car on the train that's about to leave the station.
I think I am going to use probably some of my better stats and probably being rather stupid move, because that's what I'm doing tonight. I think I'm going to try and be like, hey, this is the one you want, the one that I am currently holding.
Okay.
And I'm going to run.
Where are you running to?
I don't think I can really run to our car because there's too much going on, so I'm running across the platform.
Oh!
Fuck.
Yeah! Okay. You run across to the other side of the platform. As you are making your way to the other side of the platform, there is still the remains of gunfire kind of shooting through the air. No one's aiming at you particularly in this moment. This thing's going to follow you in a sec. We'll deal with that. I would like you to roll an evasion saving throw, D20, trying to roll higher than a number, to see if you take incidental fire from just the shots going around the room.
Okay, R D20. Oh god, let me go combat. Oh, 5. I'm bad. Bad.
Yeah. So you are running across the platform. You've made it like halfway across when just some incidental fire is going to come and hit you. This cannot deal trauma damage because they're not aiming for you, so it can't be a critical hit, air quotes. But I am going to roll a d6 and, you get skimmed by something. How do you feel about 4 points of damage?
I guess I feel okay about it. Where does that go?
So, if you are wearing armor that has a soak value, it comes out of the soak value of your armor first. If you're on the combat character sheet, down at hit points, if there's something in like damage soak, reduce that number.
Great. Yes, I actually don't get hurt. We're good.
Okay. Cool. Right? So like soak comes back after the combat, right? So you've taken this hit, but it doesn't happen against every attack, right? Every turn, just this one. So you're okay with that. The worst thing for you is that you also you succeeded to a point. You've drawn this thing's attention. It's gonna try to see if your briefcase is somehow the real one. It's gonna level its combat shotgun at you, and I'm gonna roll a die. I'm gonna ask you what your armor class is in a moment. Does a 13 hit you? And you should have both a ranged and a melee armor class, right? So looking at ranged armor class.
No.
Okay. Your armor absorbs it. It will reload the thing and continue striding across the platform towards you. But having survived that attack, you now have a free shot. You are clear to make it onto the other train, which does also seem to be moving as these 90 seconds are ending. It looks like it's going to pick up and go off as well.
Yep. I don't have a choice. I am running onto that train.
All right, you have landed on the other train, not pictured. Everyone on our train, are there any last things you want to do before the doors slam closed and your train leaves?
Does so can we see Lore get on the other train?
You can see Lore. Yeah, you've seen Lore make it across. You've seen the outline of Lore, the distinctive sword arm glinting in the red light of the other train. Seems that their security systems got tripped too. Lore makes it on. As it picks up and starts going off, like dives through the door as they close.
Okay. And it looks like the headless horseman is not, for lack of a better word, going to get on the train.
The headless being, once Lore's train picks up and goes off, turns around, and once again, it does not have eyes. It cannot have eyes, and yet it seems to sight right down to the car that all of you are on. If you could trace it like a laser from where its eyes should be, directly trying to pin where that briefcase is being held by GlitchAngle. It's definitely seeing Glitch.
Do I see it in response?
Yeah, you can see it too. Yeah, like silhouetted, headlessly silhouetted in the red light.
As our doors close, I flip at the double bird.
You flip at the double bird. There is carnage. Sorry, Glitch, you were gonna say something.
I think that as the doors are closing, Glitch is gonna call into the chat, spam those emotes, friends! Holy shit!
Vale?
Vale, because Vale, again, has this, probably, has a counter, in their deck that is, giving them the, countdown. At the last second is gonna pull back into the doors so I don't get caught in them. But
Nice.
I do want to, using our, in this, few seconds as the trains are, departing, I want to drop into the pagers, specifically to Lore. I'm gonna drop a set of coordinates, and a time. And it's basically gonna be coordinates for a location in Sil East that's, 2 hours from now. And just, no more information than that, just in case things are, fucky. But hopefully, Lore can know that that's like gonna be either a meetup or a drop point.
Nice. The platform is slick with blood. The secret car is riddled with bullets. As you pull your head back in, the SiVaRat says to you, "The doors are closing. Please stand clear of the doors."
Yeah,
They
I
shudder.
fucking know. I'm out of the doors. I'm out of the fucking doors.
I just hear.
And 6 minutes later, you have rolled into Embark Station, and we're going to end our session there.
Holy fucking shit.
All right, Star Trek 3, The Search for Lorelei, let's go!
Oh my god.
Thanks for that very chill tutorial fight where we all learned how things work. Things being our imminent demise.
Yeah, they get harder from here on out.
Oh, good. Well,
Hell yeah.
at least you know that we're all really creative and made your jaw drop a couple times.
Oh, I'm just stupid. It's not creative.
That-
It's just
No.
like, well,
No, you're not stupid. You made very good choices. I wish
I
we
was
had
up for-
better communications. You made great choices given what you had to work.
Honestly,
I
that,
was
that
like, throw it, please throw it. Okay, and you're running. Okay, all right.
honestly,
Creative
this
is just stupid wearing a hat. Like, that's great. You're doing great. Everyone's doing great.
Stars and stones. Okay, well, thank you all so much for being here this evening with this totally normal and wonderful tutorial fight. Sam, brilliant work. Brilliant. This was so much fun. Thank you to everyone who is here in this game. Y'all are tremendous. Unfortunately for all of us and our brains, we're off next week because I'm in San Diego for work. I'm so sorry.
Suspense.
Suspense.
Oh, that'll give you all times to level up your characters. I'll send out a thing about how that works.
Yes, please.
You've earned it here.
But yes, Glitch has the correct case, and it gave her a warm and fuzzy weird feeling as she touched it, which is weird. And may have something to do with some odd things in the character sheet that Sam and I have talked about.
And, you know, since we're off for a week, that's a great time to tell all of your friends who love this sort of content that they should go catch up on our first couple episodes on YouTube. The first one's already up on Tiana's channel, and I'm sure the second one will probably be up fairly soon because
In the next couple of
holy
days.
shit.
Maker's mercy. Okay, well, yeah, things are happening. Alondra and I will be back on Friday to play some more Baldur's Gate 3, and Deebles and I will be back on Saturday to play some Dead by Daylight. I apparently don't know how to stream by myself anymore. I have to drag my friends along with me. Deal.
Listen.
Hey, listen. Ha, y'all are wonderful, awesome. I'm gonna go and fall down, go boom, but you are amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. I am seriously looking forward to the next time that we get to play with this mad crew. We're gonna raid out to Jenna's online. Tell her I say hi. We will see you all in a couple of weeks for Midnight in the Garden of Chrome and Fog. Next week we're gonna be off for most of it because I'm traveling a lot, and that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. But we really appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for the bits. They saved our lives a couple of times. And even the ones that were sent to Sam. Send more to Sam. We love it. It makes things more juicy.
The entire story would have gone differently if Lorelei hadn't got pushed back in, and would have gone differently if Lorelei hadn't pushed that guy back out. Like, literally, both of those bit spends were load-bearing.
Truly.
Not to mention Alondra's earlier in the session, right? Every time bits happened, it has changed the plot in a way. So, pay us to make interesting things happen.
So thank you all so much. And until we meet again, friends, I hope that your journey back through the mushroom circles is as calm and as peaceful as it is possible to be, even as we're all letting the adrenaline come down a little bit. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you all again very soon. Good night.